Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. My name is Brad Hughes.
I am Evan T. Boucher.
And this is Jedi Talk. Thank you for downloading this episode. Before we start the show off, I wanted to do something I don't normally do, which is apologize. Let me give you a little back. So what I'm apologizing for is everyone getting bombardment with notifications over on YouTube. So this past Friday night, I think is when I did this. I found a way to finally get the podcast over on YouTube without me having to do an extra step. You know, when I do the podcast, I edit it and I upload it, goes straight to Libsyn. Libsyn's like the host. So the host can decide where it goes. So like you have to do a lot of steps to get your podcast on any place that does podcasting. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it now. But one of the destinations you can choose is YouTube, and I haven't done this yet. So I was selecting the episodes that I needed to get, and I chose the most recent 26 episodes over on YouTube for those episodes to go over on YouTube, right? And it just notified the crap out of everybody, and it filled up their subscription. So I'm not sorry that the podcast is on YouTube, okay? That's not what I'm apologizing for. But I'm saying I apologize for it annoying people, because I totally understand. If you did that to me, I would go, hey, the fuck you doing, bro?
We get it. Calm down.
I understand it's annoying, and it won't happen again. Now, you will get notifications because it's part of the channel anytime a new episode goes up. But from now on, I'm not going to have the whole backlog on YouTube.
It won't be a 30-episode drop.
Because it could have been 430 episode drop.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, wherever we're up to, 400
It's
something
not too
episodes.
late. You can still do that.
I don't want to do it.
You should.
I might do it slowly.
Yeah.
But then they'd be out of order, and so I'm just going to leave it like it is now. If
Just
you
like the Clone Wars.
Yeah, if you want to listen to the podcast, you can just do it over on Spotify. Might be a different story because I might actually have to do all that for Spotify. But I think we're on Spotify now. I've selected it as a way as it to go out to Spotify. Just like Joe Rogan, we also have a $100 million agreement to be exclusive on Spotify now. I think we're on Spotify. I just want to double check before I say this. As of right now, let me see. This is good radio. I don't see us, but that doesn't mean much. I'm really bad at I don't know how to use Spotify, to be fair. Try another way. No, okay, we're not on there yet. I guess I didn't select anything to show up on that one. So that'll be coming soon. But thank you guys for understanding, and people who didn't understand and were like, I'm temporarily unsubscribing. We lost 50 subscribers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I get it.
Yeah.
I would be annoyed too, but just give it. It's done now. So as long as you're cool with it, like you'll be fine to come back, and we'll be back. But this episode is different in a way because it is just the two of us, kind of. It's two of us at this table, but we are joined with a very special guest, somebody who answered the call not too long ago to give us her issues with the sequel trilogy at large, but most importantly, and that is The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker. We are joined by Jess Exotic herself, Jessica Meyer.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I am good. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your list. This kind of happened because we started talking, and I was like, you and me start talking. I was like, let's see if anybody would respond to this. And you did. So that's exciting. And,
I did. I made a very extensive list, which I'm going to take some of my points back, and we'll get into that once we get into the list.
That's cool. So I want to know a few things. How long have you been a Star Wars fan? And how did you become one?
So when I turned, I think I was either 7 or 8, my dad for Christmas, it was either Christmas or my birthday, he got me a box DVD set of the first 3 movies. And I kind of thought that was super lame because I had wanted something else at the time. And he got me these DVDs, and he sat down and he made me watch them with him. And I ended up loving them. I remember going to see Revenge of the Sith in movie theaters. Fun fact, I sat next to Marilyn Manson. I went to the Palisades Mall.
Okay.
I swear to you, I went to the Palisades Mall to go see Revenge of the Sith, and I was sitting next to Marilyn Manson.
That's hilarious.
Such an odd story.
Yeah, it is a really odd story, but it is one that I remember fondly. So I have been a Star Wars fan for quite some time. And I really started to get into it, I would say probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I do read like the extended universe novels. I do read the comics. So
yes,
you'll fit right in.
One of us.
Yes.
One of us.
Yes.
So what were your okay? I'm gonna do a thing where I like to ask people this question because I want to know where their head was at when they left each movie. So you walk out of The Force Awakens. What was your first thought?
I thought it was great. I saw The Force Awakens 3 times in theaters. So I really thought it was good because, again, we hadn't gotten new Star Wars movie material in so long that I think I was just so excited to be watching a Star Wars movie in the theater again. So I watched it 3 times. I thought The Force Awakens was really good. When I was able to dive a little bit deeper, I did kind of look at it and I was like, well, this is kind of just A New Hope done over again, but it wasn't bad. Like, it could have been a lot worse. So when I came out of The Force Awakens, I was excited to see where the sequel trilogy was going to go from there.
Okay, so you go back 2 years later to see The Last Jedi. What were your thoughts coming out of The Last Jedi? First impressions, because my first impression of Force Awakens was I really, really like it. I know yours was you didn't like it.
Yeah, I've said it a lot of times on the show. I was part of like the problem with the fan base at that time, like because I came out of
He's
that.
still part of the problem. Let's just be fair.
Well, a different problem, I guess now. But I came out of that. I'm just like, why is Rey such like a perfect badass? Like, and of course she has to be a woman. And I'm like, this is basically A New Hope. I wasn't in. I was like, I'm still gonna see these because I love Star Wars.
You realize I
like,
would have been friends with you back then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Just
know.
want to make sure that we're clear.
So
on
I was like, I came out of that not liking it, which is odd because I've watched it. We say it all the time, probably the most out of any Star Wars film. I think I've watched it over 100 times. So it's insane. I love it now. I understand all the things that make it good now, and it's nothing like what I thought it was. Like, Rey isn't just magically a perfect badass, and it's not just a rehash. I came out of it with a vastly different mindset than what I have right now.
That's crazy, man. It's so funny to me that you hated it so much and now you love it.
Yeah,
so strange.
It's
well,
possible.
That's why it's hard to judge a trilogy based on one movie.
Exactly,
like it's weird.
And that's what happened. Last
Except
Jedi
Attack
came
of the
out.
Clones.
I
You can judge
Force
the trilogy
Awakens
based on Attack of the Clones. It's terrible.
For the most part, yeah.
We're Star Wars anything ever. Okay, so what was your impression coming out of The Last Jedi? Because I want to lead with this. I didn't like it.
First time we saw
I
it,
didn't like it. I was confused about how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was I don't know how to feel about this.
I think confusion would be the best way to describe how I felt coming out of that movie. So coming out of The Last Jedi, I was confused, but I didn't hate it. That's the thing, where like I didn't hate it, and I knew that I had to go back home once it was out on DVD or whatever, that I was going to have to watch it again and go through it with like a finer tooth comb. My mistake was getting onto YouTube and watching all of these videos, basically saying how, going through all the plot holes, going through what was really wrong with the movie. And I started taking those people's, like, I morphed my opinion of the movie with that. Am I making sense?
Yeah, totally. I think that happened a lot with people with that movie, because the narrative became so much that it was a terrible movie, which it's not.
It's not.
I would say it's a masterpiece, but whatever. I think that happened a lot. I think a lot of people didn't know what to think about it, and instead of finding someone who was talking positively about it and explaining it why they liked it, they listened to all the negative stuff because there was so much negative stuff about it.
Yeah, that was the key.
That's what the people who were on the line were like, well, I'm just going to go this way because everyone hates it already. And I'm like, it's a safe opinion.
Yeah, if they've already seen 20 videos saying how much it sucks and how much people hate it, then they're like, yeah, I guess I do hate it. Like, it kind of validates.
It's almost like I was seeking out the bad opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't even giving it a chance, where like I was just solely watching why it was terrible.
And that's why we're here.
Indeed.
But, and then I want to know what you thought about The Rise of Skywalker. Because I go back to my thing with Last Jedi. I saw the movie when I had the flu. I was super, super sick. It was probably Corona. Let's be real. I was
the original Patient Zero
of Corona. No, I had the flu. I was really, really sick. And I left and I was just like emotionally exhausted because I had slept all day. Like I felt terrible. I remember I had that day off from work and I had played Battlefront 2 and I listened to How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, the audiobook, and that's all I did all day on the couch. And then I fell asleep listening to that book and I slept for 6 hours. And then we went to the movie and I walked out, and I just was so tired. I was like, I don't know if I liked it or not. And then I went back the next night, and I remember telling Josh and our buddy Kirk that I either love it or I hate it, and I'm not sure which one it is. Mm-hmm. And I went back the next night, and I was like, oh no, this movie's amazing. And I don't think a lot of people did that. I think they went through like, I hate it, and then left and just never visited again. Because I have friends who have watched it more than once that go like, oh, it's not as bad as I remember, which is their way of saying this movie's not bad. I just remember it being
That's
a different
how people
movie.
like subtly, give in and say, acknowledge that you're right.
I'm talking to you, Matt Parrish from Wedway Radio. I'm talking to you.
Exactly.
We did, I don't know if people remember this, but me and Matt and Josh got together at the Polynesian Resort, and we did a 3-hour podcast on why he hated that movie so much.
Man, that's longer than the movie itself.
I know.
Incredible.
I know. It's weird. But yeah, so then leaving the Rise of Skywalker, I had gone on like a 5-day. I don't like things being spoiled for me. So every time like a movie like this comes out, I delete Twitter.
I saw this. I witnessed this.
Yeah, so. I'm like crazy. I'm like, don't even say the words Rise of Skywalker around me. Like once up to the premiere, I'll be on Twitter, and then when the premiere hits, I just delete everything. I don't delete my account, but I just delete it off my phone. I don't go on. If I tweet, I'll go on and like new podcast is up, and then delete it again.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, this is exactly what you did.
I think I remember that. Like, I honestly think I remember seeing those tweets from your Twitter.
Yeah,
and I
don't like
actually do remember that.
I don't like it, and I don't like people who ruin it. Even I've been accused of ruining the movie for people who I've never even interacted with, so I don't know how I ruined it for you, but whatever, dude. But I left the movie going, there's no way people are not gonna like this movie.
Yeah.
I remember you were with me. I was like, there's no way. There's no way you, as a Star Wars fan, you can watch this movie and not love it. I still stand by that. I think there are some things that are like not great with it, but I think they filled in the holes with other things, which we'll get to. But I know you loved it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll touch on a little bit how I came out of Last Jedi. I came out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to ask you.
It's all good. I came out of The Last Jedi with like the same kind of confusion, and also like that's a different way to take it than I was kind of. I want to say wanting. It was different than what I was wanting and what I was expecting. But like I don't do the whole like head canon, and if it's not the way I think it's gonna be, then it sucks. Like I wasn't in that mindset. But
I'm that way too because I like to be surprised. I like to go.
Yeah.
I don't like to like.
We speculate. Like
I speculate a lot.
Yeah.
But I also go like I hope you can surprise me, which The Last Jedi did. The Last Jedi surprised me because the beats are like it's like almost like the no, that's not a good example, but it's one of those movies where it's like. You think something's going to happen, and then it doesn't, and then you're kind of disappointed, and then it happens at the end in a different way.
Yeah, exactly.
And then people forget that the different way happened, I think, for a lot of people. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I came out, I was confused and not sure how I felt about the Luke stuff, but him coming back at the end of the movie, I remember being just like, that's an oh shit moment. It's like, oh, like Luke's back. Like it was just, that moment was incredible. And after Force Awakens, I didn't even like, this is probably shocking for you, even like I didn't even like Kylo after The Force Awakens.
What?
And Kylo is my favorite character.
No, I didn't like Kylo after The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you people? Are y'all's heads broken? What's wrong with the both of you?
It was back then, but then I come out of Last Jedi, I'm like, Kylo Ren is my shit. Like I came out of that loving him.
He's awesome.
So, and then I saw it I think 3 times in theaters, and each time I saw it, I appreciated it more. And you know how much I love it. Like it's top 2 or 3.
Rise of Skywalker or Last Jedi?
Last Jedi. Top 2 or 3.
So Rise of Skywalker. Jess, what were your thoughts leaving Rise of Skywalker?
So I actually watched it, I think, like the day after I got home from Disney. It came out while I was there, and nobody wanted to go watch it in Disney Springs with me. So I was super hyped to go watch it.
So you didn't see it opening day? What kind of fan are you?
The worst kind of
because
fan.
nobody wanted to go with me. I was very upset.
I went to the
just
marathon.
Like nobody wanted to go get boarding groups with me for Rise. So
Evan doesn't know this story. She was here when Rise opened, and no one wanted to wait with her.
No one wanted to go with me.
So did you go?
No, I haven't been on it yet. The only thing that I got to do was Smuggler's Run.
What? You were here on December 5th in Orlando, Florida.
I was there. I wasn't there on December 5th. I was there like 2 weeks later.
Okay, so it wasn't opening day, but still, you were here when it was open.
Yeah.
Dude, I've gone by myself like 12 out of my 16 times, I think.
I debated it, but I have like mega social anxiety, so I was like, I don't know if I can do this. So nobody went with me. So going back to The Rise of Skywalker, I was super hyped to come home and watch it, and I left the theater not knowing what to think. It's the same thing that happened with The Last Jedi, and I went on YouTube again and sought out all of the bad opinions on it. So for a while, I thought it was not a good movie, which I now take back. I mean, there are some issues with it.
I want to point out this opinion has changed in just a little bit that you and me had talked about this movie.
Right.
So
you have to watch these movies a couple more times to really form a solid opinion on them, because there could be things that you missed. There could be things that you didn't quite understand at first that now make sense. So coming out of the movie theater, I was
could be
confused.
Supplemental material that comes out in between these and fills in the gaps.
Exactly.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of factors.
Exactly.
And all Star Wars complements all of Star Wars. So the more you watch or read stuff, the more it changes things you've already watched and already read.
I agree.
So, yeah, people don't take that side and look at it that much. They should.
What were your thoughts leaving Rise of Skywalker?
I mean, you were there with me.
I know, but the
night,
listeners weren't.
We were just. I know. I'm just saying. You know what it was like. I had the same kind of experience you did, and we were both hyped coming out of it, both excited.
I was jazzed.
We ran into Josh, and he hadn't seen it yet. He was going in, right? No, he came out too.
Josh was with us.
They saw it in the same one as us.
Yeah, didn't Josh and John see the same time with us? Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess that's how you don't remember things.
Yeah. They were with us.
Yeah, and he was excited too. They were all. I mean,
and Dawn's a. Don't let it surprise you, or don't let her shock you. What am I trying to say? Don't let her trick you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
She's a big Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah.
She's a massive Star Wars fan. She knows.
She just doesn't
She could hang
display it like we do.
No, and she could hang on the show 100%.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Just playing
just
Cards Against Star
just
Wars
doesn't
with her,
want to.
we could see.
She's awesome. Dawn's Josh's wife. For people who don't know, she's awesome.
Yeah, but I loved it. I came out saying. I mean, I think I've dropped back on it now, but I came out saying that might be my favorite Star Wars movie. And I was like, it's probably top 1 or 2. And I'm like, eh.
I still think I like Last Jedi
3.
better.
Yeah.
I still think my ranking of the sequel trilogy for me is Last Jedi. Last Jedi is my second favorite Star Wars movie ever. There's just nothing that's going to top Return of the Jedi, because it's just a movie that I've always loved as a kid. It's always my favorite of the 3. It's just nothing, no matter what happens, there's nothing that's ever going to top that movie. I mean,
understandable.
George Lucas and Jesus Christ could make a movie together, and it's just not going to top what, it's just one of those things. It just is what it is. It's reality. And if there was a movie that could top it, I mean, there's some days I talk it up so much I go dang, it's my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
I love it. There's so much good in that movie. There's not a lot. There's some bad stuff, but there's a lot of good in that movie. But it goes Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, and Force Awakens. Force Awakens is, and that doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just I like the other ones more.
It's the least best, in my opinion. My least favorite of them.
We didn't like it from the beginning, so shut up.
Yeah, I agree though, but yeah.
So what we're doing on this show, and I want to put this out before we talk about it going forward. I am not trying to influence anyone's opinion on these films. I am simply being the beacon of positivity that I fear isn't in this conversation a lot of the time.
So what you're saying is we are the spark
that'll light the fire that'll burn the negativity down.
Yep. Okay.
I love it.
That's all we're doing, and then I'm just gonna go. Let's explain what we did. So what we did was you came up with a lot of things between, I think it was just 7 and 8 because you liked Force Awakens, right? So just 7 and 8.
Yeah, I don't even think I had any issues that I wrote down with The Force Awakens.
Yeah, so what you did is you wrote down your issues between 8 and 9, and what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the issues and offer our takes on it and takes that go, maybe you didn't see it this way. So again, we're not trying to influence. If you don't like the movies, that's your prerogative. I think you're insane, but that's your prerogative. I'm joking. In all seriousness, I'm not trying to influence anyone's opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and nothing I say or should say should sway your opinion. But it's a different way to look at it. Instead of going this is stupid because she's a Palpatine, it's not going to be negative. We might joke around a little bit and be silly, but I just want everyone to know before we do this, I am not trying to change your minds. If you don't like the movies and you think I'm an idiot, then you're probably right. But it is what it is, and this is just kind of our thoughts on it. So Evan's going to read off the list that Jess sent to us, and we're going to kind of go one by one and kind of discuss each topic and kind of go from there. So Evan, what's our first one? And you can read them exactly like it says. So spoiler alert, there's going to be some language in here.
I will and I won't. So I'll start off with the biggest thing, which isn't even like a sequels question itself. This is you could have a whole show about this. Discussing how you're a big fan of the prequels, and now you're kind of a little
that is
salty.
my disclaimer.
Yeah.
I am a huge prequel stan.
Yeah.
I think that just it boils down to like nostalgia more than
for
anything.
sure.
But
You're young. That's your Star Wars.
That's my Star Wars.
Yeah,
so
100%.
yes, get that out of the way. I am 100% a prequel stan.
And to a point, that's mine too. Like I really like the Phantom Menace. It's up there in likability, and the more I watch it, the more I like it because I feel like it just sets up the tone of what Star Wars is at that time really well. Mm-hmm. There's things I don't like about it, but I've been playing Pod Racer. I have a CPU that I have it's an emulator. I've been playing Pod Racer, and that's where that came from. Like I actually like the fact that they chose. And hang on, I'm like thinking 5 steps ahead of myself here. The best piece of Star Wars art that has ever been made. I don't even know if you've ever seen this. I had this poster hanging up on my wall. I don't know if you've seen it. I'm gonna have you Google something, okay? Jess, Google Episode 1 Anakin Shadow poster.
Oh yeah. That's a beautiful one.
It is the best.
Oh, isn't that the one? I'm not going to open my mouth yet because I know I'm probably going to be wrong.
I want you to see it because it is the best piece of Star Wars art that has ever existed, and it sets up. I remember seeing it as a kid and being like,
"Yes, I've seen this before. It's awesome."
With what's his name?
Lloyd, right?
Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd he's on Tatooine walking away, and his shadow behind him is Vader.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That alone is like just, I'm getting chills.
That's better than Attack of the Clones.
Oh, it's way better. That poster is better than Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars. I literally had that poster on my wall as a kid when that came out. I mean, I loved Phantom Menace as a kid, but I don't begrudge anyone who likes them unless you like Attack of the Clones. No, I'm just kidding. Even then, like it's just not my thing. It's just I was too cool for Star Wars when it came out. I mean, that was what was Attack of the Clones? No, Attack of the Clones was 2002.
Yeah.
So
and
I was
Sith was 05.
I was born in '89, so I would have been 13.
Yeah. Right.
And it was just a little cheesy, and it just didn't work, and it just didn't feel like. Because I also didn't understand what was happening. You know what I mean? That's 13 still really young.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get it. Anyone who's a prequels fan, I totally understand. I am to a degree, but it's just I fell in love with the original Star Wars movies, and I fall more in love with the sequel trilogy, which is weird because I really I like things to go forward. I'm not a fan of prequel anything because it just kind of limits what you can talk about. Anyway, I totally understand, and anyone who's with you, I get it. Next point.
Now, like this could probably be literally an entire show itself, but I'm somewhat on the same boat, somewhat not, where we're a little upset Anakin is no longer the chosen one. Now,
has that been said?
The chosen one in Star Wars gets real dicey with a lot of people, I think. And I know it does with me because when they first introduced it in the prequels, I was like, do we really need this? A chosen one prophecy?
But I always was under the impression that he clearly wasn't the chosen one because he turned into Vader. So he can't be the chosen one.
Yeah.
And it was a misread prophecy because Yoda even says misread the prophecy could have been.
Yeah.
I never took him as the chosen one. And I don't know if I'm wrong or if it's just my perception's wrong. Mm-hmm. But for me, you can't be the chosen one of the Jedi and then turn into Space Hitler.
To the dark side.
Right.
See, the thing is he comes back. He returns to the light in Return of the Jedi. So
after killing a lot of kids and a lot of people and an entire planet and a lot.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, like if I killed a bunch of kids, I went to a daycare with a lightsaber and just started murking kids, and then I was like, I'm good now.
I said I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It might get you into heaven, but it's not gonna. People on Earth aren't gonna care. You know what I mean? Like, I never took that. The line of Yoda going misread the prophecy has always been like their eject button.
I think that's their backdoor way out. Just in case you could say it's Luke.
Yeah, like they get out of jail free card.
To me, I feel like Luke would be the chosen one.
I would say so, yeah. Especially now we've seen the big picture, the whole thing. Because that's whether...
I would agree with that.
Yeah, whether or not you take it literally, as in like Anakin literally balances the Force, or Luke literally balances the Force, or maybe it's their impact on the galaxy balances the Force.
Okay, hear me out. Wouldn't Rey and Ben's relationship be like
that's
the
what I thought
balance
going
of the Force?
A perfect dyad.
They are two opposite
dark.
ends that have been the opposite ends of their opposite end.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me than, some dork who's trying to get speeder parts on Tatooine being the chosen one.
Stop.
Or a guy who won a pod race once. being the chosen one.
and then killed a bunch of kids. But that's, I don't know. See, when I was younger, I took it literally as in, okay, whatever character is the chosen one, his actions, will balance the Force. But I kind of take it more broad now and say it's more like his impact on the galaxy and his like the way he influenced everybody.
I go again back to this argument of like you can have a negative impact and it be a monumental negative impact.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it good overall because people are aware that there's that. Like again, Hitler, like he had a really negative impact.
Mm-hmm.
He was very impactful.
Possibly the biggest impact on the planet ever, but it's not a good one, obviously.
And it's like, does that? This is a weird road to go down. Does knowing that kind of evil is possible prevent future evil?
Or does it inspire future evil?
Exactly.
I think it inspires future evil.
Yeah. So it's like it's that's why this road with Vader is tricky because I don't think that he was the chosen one at all. I always think that since everyone chose not to, embrace him on the council is a pretty good sign that things weren't what they were supposed to be. Because but okay, here I go again, contradicting myself. But like again, if a dude came back today and was like, and this is just for people who are religious. This is a weird because we had this conversation last night.
We literally had this conversation.
But if Jesus came back, would people believe that it's Jesus? If it really was Jesus,
there'd be so many skeptics at first.
You know what I mean?
It would be
you would get those crazy conspiracy theorists. I don't think people would believe it.
They wouldn't believe it, right? Until it was too late, right?
Yeah.
So if would they believe that the chosen one was in front of them at that point, the council?
And also, at that point in the timeline, the Jedi Council was at the, quote, peak of its power, but that's actually when they got too big of hubris, and that's when they fell.
And we have the whole nature versus nurture argument, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have that whole thing, like, what if Qui-Gon had shared him instead of Obi-Wan?
Exactly.
Would that have been different because he saw something different in him, maybe?
That's going to what Dave Filoni said in The Mandalorian. Like, Dave Filoni would break this down for weeks, man. So he would kill it.
This is a whole other discussion we can get to, but yes, I've never thought that he was the chosen one. I always thought that it was someone else that maybe we haven't even encountered yet.
Exactly. And that's definitely what you started to say earlier.
I think it's Rey.
It's like their backdoor out. If it doesn't end up being Anakin, they could just say, no, look, it was misread. It could be Rey. So it's fine. And now that kind of goes with Rey becoming what I thought back in 2016, right? Force Awakens?
2015.
That's what I thought coming out, where, Rey's a Mary Sue. And we talked about this before. I'd never even heard the term Mary Sue until I leave The Force Awakens and I start watching YouTube. And everyone's like, Rey is this character called a Mary Sue. And they give the definition.
That is exactly how I found out what a Mary Sue was.
Me too.
Was through YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I come out and I'm like, they're right. She's a Mary Sue. I was like, I agree. So, I see the mindset coming out of Force Awakens, but my mindset has drastically changed. I actually had to
Urban Dictionary what a Mary Sue was because I had no idea. No idea.
I still really don't now. Thankfully, forgot it because I realized that Rey isn't that. So I'm like, I don't need to know that term because I don't think she is that.
I'm actually going to look up the definition of a Mary Sue and we can kind of break it down.
Okay. And in The Force Awakens, I was just like, she can just fly the Millennium Falcon perfectly. Or, she can wield a lightsaber perfectly or shoot a gun perfectly. But I don't know why that was my impression. Because if you rewatch it, she doesn't do any of those things perfectly.
No, and she doesn't do a lot of things perfectly. So Mary Sue, originally in fan fiction, so right off the jump, this isn't fan fiction, so we're automatically throwing this argument out because this isn't fan fiction.
Yeah.
Is a type of female character, and I'm serious, that's the definition of what it says. A type of female character who is depicted as unrealistically lacking in flaws or weakness. So, okay, here's where that argument completely falls apart, is in The Last Jedi. The first thing that she does whenever she taps into the Force is goes directly to the dark side. Mm-hmm. That's not a character. That's not flawless. That's a flaw off the jump to the point that Luke goes, I'm backing off. Mm-hmm. I can't do this. Mm-hmm. So not a Mary Sue. Maybe in The Force Awakens, maybe you kind of have an argument.
Maybe, but I don't even see it.
But even if you're going with The Force Awakens, right? She still left Jakku. Which is what she wasn't supposed to do. She's her thing was to stay there. She goes against what she believes. Mm-hmm. That's a weakness for this greater good.
Yeah.
But not even greater good. Just on this weird adventure, she doesn't really know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So, not a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay. Anyway.
So, I take that back. Like, I know I put that on my list, but I take that back. That
Exactly.
is one of the
That's fine,
things
yeah.
that I take back.
That's totally fine. Like that's the fun of this is like, and the fun
Yeah.
of Star Wars is like you can change your opinion. Like,
Yeah.
dude, who knows? I could watch Last Jedi one day and go, oh,
Now I
I
see.
hate
it. No,
this.
but, yeah.
Like, you know, that's totally fine. I mean, and there are things that you're going to take back, and not because of me or anyone else. It was just you kind of go like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's not the case.
And I also have to say that my boyfriend does not like the sequel trilogy at all. So I do have to, a lot of my decisions sometimes were influenced by him as well, because he hates what Disney has done to Star Wars. Like, he will not even watch The Rise of Skywalker with me.
Has he seen it
I beg
before?
him.
Has he seen it before?
No, he
So
won't
wh-
watch it.
So how do you know you don't like it if you don't watch it? And
He
kids,
won't watch
and
it.
kids,
That's
what I'm
what I
saying is,
said.
kids. What I'm saying is, definitely do heroin to know if you don't like it or not. That's what I'm
Right?
saying.
Try it out.
That's why just try it out. You get a lease and a key. Try it out. If you don't know what
he
I'm
won't
talking, I'll
watch
send
That's a
it.
deep cut.
It's a deep cut. If you don't know what we're talking about, you're a good person.
Thankfully.
Sorry, Evan.
Yep.
I like to ruin Evan's day with these creepy videos that
He
I
has.
find online from your mom's house podcast.
He
It makes
has.
me so happy.
It's terrible.
The look of shock on your face when I show you these horrible
We're
videos
just
makes
saying,
me laugh.
yeah. Don't
I'll
look
show you
him
the
up.
guy, the
Don't look him
dude, the
up.
dude getting hit by a car.
No.
Oh, okay, I'll show you that one later.
Oh, great. Thanks.
To ruin
I
his
should have
day
said
all over
yes.
again.
Why didn't I say yes?
Because then I would have asked you what happened.
And I would have been like, he got hit by a car.
And I'd go, yeah, you know, you're fair. So,
I still messed up.
okay, what's the next one?
Okay.
By the way, make him watch it. Like,
Right?
Jason,
I
right?
tried
His
so hard
name's
last
Jason?
night. Yes.
Jason, this is Brad from the Jedi Talk podcast. Show him this clip. For sure, watch the movie because then you know if you like it or not. You know, you could watch it and go like, "Oh my god, I like it," or you just get confirmation bias and then you hate it. So either way, you win.
Mm-hmm.
Show him that
I
clip.
tried. I tried. I did. I tried.
Hi,
he
Jason.
watched
This
The
is
Last
Brad Hughes
Jedi.
from the Jedi Talk podcast. And I'm telling you, I highly endorse Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, and I think you should watch it because it'll give you a definite perspective on if you like the films or not. Also, don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. All right. Next one.
So now we finally actually jump in to the films. We got the first complaint with The Last Jedi. And you say, my first and probably biggest issue with this movie is Admiral Holdo. I'm all for women empowerment, but it felt like all she did throughout her time.
As a woman, you should be.
Right.
Oh yeah, what I am like. I am not trying to take that away. Like, I totally am for empowerment.
She's like, I think we should just all be in the kitchen 24 hours a day, not doing shit. I mean, that's what I think, but whatever. I'm joking. Jesus.
This is a validation podcast here. We will validate all of these throughout the episode. So you say, all it feels like she did throughout her time on screen was shit on Poe, and it didn't sit right with you.
Okay. Do you still feel this way?
So I did rewatch it, obviously, as I had stated. Yes, because I just don't like Laura Dern.
I don't
Like
get that.
that-
I love
You're
Laura
the
Dern.
only person on the planet who doesn't like Laura Dern.
I didn't know
you
that.
realize that,
I
right?
just don't
How's
like
that
Laura
possible?
Dern.
God.
I think she has like this way about her where it's just like any movie I see her in, she's just a complete twat.
Have you ever seen her do like an actual interview with it when she's not acting?
No.
Because I feel the same way you feel about a girl from American Horror Story. She's in every season.
Who?
The girl who plays like the. Have you seen Apocalypse?
Yes.
Okay, spoilers for American. I never thought in a million years
Yeah,
I'll talk American Horror
spoilers.
Story on Jedi Talk. But the girl who is in Apocalypse, she's one of the witch, but they have the spell. Not Billy Lord, but the
Emma
other girl.
Roberts.
Yes, she
I agree
is
with you. I
a
do not like Emma Roberts.
total bitch, and she can't even hide it. She can't hide
Yeah,
it.
I
Like
don't
she's
like her either.
she's totally like no matter what she does, even when she's acting pretending to be nice in 1984 as the camp counselor lady, she still comes off as a bitch.
Jeez.
I don't know.
She just has that
I
aura.
feel the way you feel about Laura Dern about her, and I don't know if it's just how I interpret what she's saying and doing, or
Maybe.
if that's how she really is. But I can tell you, Laura Dern is a sweet. I mean, I don't know her, but she seems to
I
be
don't know her
pretty
like that,
sweet.
but-
And your thing about not liking her in Marriage Story, you're not supposed to like her in Marriage Story. She's a bitchy attorney, and as somebody who's been through
ruined a good chunk of that movie for me because I actually really enjoyed that movie.
That
but
movie's
it
incredible.
ruined-
That's the only movie I've ever stood up and I've been through a divorce and look at me when I'm telling you this, that was identical to that story, to the point where me and Holly were watching it and I was telling her, this is what she's doing. She's going to set this up, blah, 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 blah. And of course I said, see, told you. It's the most realistic but brutal divorce story ever. And my ex-wife had an attorney that was just like that character. just
I'm
like
so sorry.
complete bitch. No matter what you say, but that's why it's good. It's because she like gets a reaction from you. She gets you to go like, oh, I don't like that character. You're not supposed to like her character in Marriage Story. You're supposed to go, that bitch is evil, because she is, and she's such a good actress that she can play that thing. So in Last Jedi, my thing is she is really close friends with Leia, and it's one of those Maz Kanata situations where you go like, how does she have this friend who she's really close to
that we've never seen? Yeah,
that's where
True.
that's where the
Agreed.
book Leia Leia Princess of Alderaan, written by Claudia Gray, which was a Journey to the Last Jedi book that fills in that story of how they know each other. And Amilyn Holdo in the book is a completely different character in a good way than what you get in The Last Jedi.
I will have to read it. Like
It is
I'm
so
still
good.
I'm still open to changing my mind to some of these opinions, but I have to read the book. But I just, for some reason, I don't like Laura Dern, and I can go and change that opinion too. I'll watch some interviews.
No need to. If you don't like her, you don't
Laura
like her, and
Dern.
I'm not trying to change your opinion, but I love Laura Dern. I'm not going to sit here idly and let you trash Laura Dern. No, I'm kidding.
but how she treated Poe didn't sit right with you. Like, I feel like Poe got exactly what he deserved in that movie.
100%. And that's the whole arc of him, is that he fucked up so bad that they were like, okay, bro, take a seat.
Really, and like,
I agree.
Because in like Force
agree.
Awakens, Poe's like a perfect pilot, and he thinks that's just the way to go about life because it hasn't proven him wrong until this point. And then the first thing in Last Jedi, we see him fail, and it might be his first failure, as far as we know. Like,
I
big
think
failure.
so, because in the comics he's not failing. He's like an ace pilot. Like, you kind of see him as an adult.
Even in, I guess this is wow.
Poe a Mary Sue?
No, because of Last Jedi.
No, he's got major.
He
flaws.
completely screwed. Oh, he has a lot of
major flaws.
I mean, the fact that he's talking to Leia and clicks off the conversation if she's telling him to disengage.
Who would hang up on Leia? Like, think about that. I would never hang up on Leia.
I would never hang up on Leia.
Exactly.
Or Carrie Fisher.
I'd hang up on
matter.
Leia. Fuck
Whoa.
Leia. I'm
Wow.
kidding. No, but here's like I actually had the same thought when I first started, I don't want to use the word critiquing, but like kind of breaking down The Last Jedi. And I was like, why wouldn't they just tell Poe what was going on? And then somebody on Twitter, I'll never forget this, was like, I was in the military for like 25 years. I was a career military person. He goes, the people at the top don't tell you shit. Mm-hmm. He goes, that's the most realistic shit I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie. That like you got demoted, so now you're not privy to that information.
Mm-hmm. Even
And
if
I was
you were
like,
5
whoa.
seconds ago, you're not now.
You're not now.
Yeah.
So now you don't have that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, now
the
you
more
don't-
you know.
You don't have the right to know because you're not at the rank to know.
And we
And
answered.
I never looked at it the same way again after that.
Yeah, and
Truth.
this was a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. We answered this like amongst ourselves. We were like, "Wait, so if Leia's telling him to call off the attack on the dreadnought,
Did somebody just knock on our door?
I don't think so. Might have been outside, just
There's
outside
no
noise,
There's no neighbors outside.
garbage pickup."
Oh, that's what it was. Sorry, guys. We're sitting right by my front door, and it kind of freaked me out. Like no one should know we're here.
Right? But if Leia tells Poe to call off the attack on the dreadnought, but the attack still goes on, we're like, wait, why did everyone else continue that attack? But it doesn't work that way. She was telling Poe, and Poe was supposed to relay that information to the rest of the squad. And obviously he didn't because he hung up on Leia. So therefore it's like that chain of command situation.
Yep.
It's even foreshadowed in the first scene, the first 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You get that. So I don't know. I think the way they treated Holdo and Poe and their interactions, I never questioned.
I will say
whole
so.
movie.
I need to say something too because I feel like I'm going to contradict myself by what I did say, what I'm going to continue to say is in the Leia Princess of Alderaan book, Amilyn Holdo is like a hippy dippy flower child. Mm-hmm. You've read the book, right?
No. I've read all
I'm the only one
this
that's read
information about it, but I haven't read
I'm
it.
the only one that's read it. Mm-hmm. She's not the character that Laura Dern portrays, and the reason they changed it, they had every intention of Laura Dern being this like hippy dippy kind of childlike adult, and then when they were filming it, it didn't work on film, and so Rian Johnson had to change it. And I think the change is better because I don't think you would take she's kind of an airhead. She's a smart airhead. Like she's kind of like one of those people who has like no common sense but is really book smart. Mm-hmm. I have a friend like that.
Okay.
I have a friend like that who's a complete idiot outside of her being a fucking doctor. Okay, she's a doctor.
Jeez.
And she's terrifyingly naive and like not super street savvy. You know what I mean? Mm. Like she's smart, book smart, but not common sense smart. And I think that wouldn't have come off well with somebody who's in charge of
especially
of
going from Leia to
I
that.
can agree with
that's
that.
a huge drop.
So I think it makes all kinds of sense that they would make her more serious than they would have her like a kind of a dunce, for lack of a better term. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's kind of. But I will say, when you do read the book, just remember
it probably
that
makes much more sense.
But she's also a child. She's like 15 in the movie, or in the book. So you're kind of going 40 years later.
A lot of things have happened between 15 and 50.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
In your life and her life.
And if you were the same person at 15 and 40, then you have a big problem and you need help.
We'll get into here with another character pretty soon. We'll get into that. But
that's my thoughts on that. And again, not changing anyone's opinion, just stating how I feel about about these comments.
Fair enough.
I feel like I'm roasting you. Are you okay?
It's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Don't take it like that at all. Please don't.
No, I don't. Do not worry.
Okay.
I have to. Listen. I've only seen Laura Dern in The Last Jedi, Marriage Story, and Jurassic Park. So I haven't really watched anything outside of.
I will say that's a pretty good sample size of Laura Dern, though. Have you watched the show F is for Family, the animated show, the Bill Burr cartoon on Netflix?
I watched like a couple episodes, but I was not a fan.
She's the mom. She's the mom.
I'm more of a Big Mouth type.
Bill Burr is my favorite. I will follow Bill Burr to the end of the earth. I love him. She's the mom in F is for Family.
That's how I am with John Mulaney and Nick Kroll. Though,
I love Nick Kroll. I never worked with either one of those two guys, but I did work with Bill Burr, and he's my favorite. I love him.
Always turns into either Defense of Last Jedi or Bill Burr. That's all we talk about.
I could probably, you know what's really weird, dude?
If he was
I
on
could
the
probably
show.
I could probably get him on the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm like 80% sure.
We just never bring up the episode of Mandalorian with him in it.
Just talk about like
everything but that.
Yeah, he's in the Mandalorian.
Can you imagine? He's on a Star Wars
What's
podcast.
so funny is he hates Star Wars.
Yeah, can you imagine him sitting here and be like, "So when you guys gonna ask me about Mandalorian?" And be like, "What?
Like,
what are you talking
what's
about?
the Mandalorian? This is Jedi talk, right?
Mandalorian.
He's the best. That's one of my favorite pictures I have is of me and him on stage together. That's one of my favorite pictures I have of me. Oh, I love it. Sorry, go ahead.
So moving on to the next complaint. I love the way you've worded this. 3 words, Brad. Green titty milk. I'm not sure if this was meant to be a gag, but it didn't feel very Luke Skywalker-ish to me. It makes for a great drink at Galaxy's Edge, however.
It does. I like the green milk.
The green milk is delish.
I think it was one of those things where it was like that. I think that choice to show that was very inside baseball.
It would have
where
to
it's
be.
like it's bantha milk is the blue milk.
So now we have a
now they have a new one, the green milk.
Yeah.
That's going to be sold at Galaxy's Edge, coming to a milk stand near you.
Right.
And like, where does it come from? And I think they just wanted to show it.
But
it is jarring. I'll
Yeah.
be with you. It's weird.
It's very jarring.
It's weird, but
I mean, we don't see Yoda milk an animal or butcher an animal, but we see his food in his hut on Dagobah. So it's like the same situation.
Dude, he's like eating bats.
Yeah, he's eating some messed up
And in this
food.
political COVID-19 climate.
Right? Go back and edit Empire Strikes Back for the 7th time. But that's what it was to me. It was just like showing his daily life, how he's living, what he's
Speaking
doing
of COVID-19,
now. Like,
this is a complete tangent. Did you see my tweets with that dude last night? Those 2 idiots.
yeah,
Oh my God. Hey, bro.
idiots.
Fucking kill yourself. Okay? You're a absolute loser. I asked someone who I know a question about someone who they know who had COVID, and somehow I'm an asshole pushing a narrative. You're the problem. For sure, I hope you get COVID-19. I hope an Asian man comes from Wuhan and sneezes in your goddamn mouth and you die. That's what I really hope. I hope that for you and your entire family. Go ahead.
No, that's all I got. All I got.
And if you think I'm editing this out, you're out of your fucking mind.
No, I know you're not. But
Kill yourself, sir.
I don't know. To me, the green titty milk didn't bother me. I mean, yes, it was weird, and then the Thalassiren like makes eye contact with Rey. I guess that it's funny, kind of weird.
You know what you just did? You just like name dropped some nerd shit that you knew the name of the beast.
You don't know.
I didn't know the name of the beast.
You don't know.
Nope,
I
sure
didn't.
didn't. Sure didn't.
You got to know what you're drinking, man.
Thalassiren?
I don't go to Galaxy's Edge and be like, I'll take that. I need to know what it comes out of.
I want to know the ingredients of that shit because it is a color that doesn't exist in nature.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, it's whatever they make in titties, green milk titties.
Oh, shit. Oh, I hate you. And I love you so much.
Yep.
That's the funniest shit I've ever heard. All right, what's the next one? It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. It was a gross out moment that I don't think was needed, but it's kind of cool to now.
It
I
was
think
different. It kind of like took me by surprise. I was like, oh, I'm like, all right, this is happening.
I do think every time you drink green milk now at Galaxy's Edge, you kind of go like,
Yeah, every time. Yep.
but not the blue milk. It's weird. All right, go ahead. What's the next one?
Okay, so which leads me to my next point. I'm not a giant fan of what they did with Luke in this movie. I know that he's been in hiding for years, but the Luke I grew up watching was always more optimistic than what he was in Last Jedi. However, I don't have any issues with how he died at the end. I thought that was a great send-off because it was very reminiscent of Obi-Wan's death in Episode 4.
Absolutely. Okay.
For sure.
So do you still stand by this sentiment?
Yes.
Okay.
For the most part, yeah. I really do like the way that they sent him off. It was very sentimental, I guess is the word that I'm looking for.
Yeah, it was. I think it was because here's the thing: if he lived into Rise of Skywalker, do you want to see There's only two ways you can do that. You'd have to have him killed off by a character, and you could either do that off screen, which would be disrespectful, or you'd have to have him killed off by Kylo Ren, who then later on in that movie is going to turn good anyway.
You can't have it in the same film.
Like
Plus,
that
we
would
already
feel
saw him
so
kill Han
weird.
Solo.
Yeah, you can't have him kill two
Agreed.
of the main characters. So there's no one else powerful enough to even remotely kill him. So it would have to be something like him sacrificing himself for the greater good of the Resistance. Now, my argument to this entire thing, and I've been talking about this for years, time changes people.
Yeah.
In the same way that when you're 15, you should not be the same as you are when you're 40. When you're 40, or how old was he in 30? When he was 30?
In the original trilogy?
Yeah.
Or
Let's say 25,
late
30.
20s,
Let's say
late
25, 30. Let's say 25. When you're 25, you probably shouldn't be the same as you are when you're 60. You know, I mean,
Okay.
especially after you've defeated Space Hitler, you've saved the entire galaxy from the reign of the Emperor, you completely start this brand new religion from the ground up, and then you see your nephew becoming Space Hitler 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You've seen all the pain and suffering that things have caused, and you're seeing that path happen again. You know, and Luke has witnessed the death of Yoda, the death of his own father. He's witnessed the death of Obi-Wan.
I mean,
he's had so much loss in his life.
If you take the events of just the original trilogy from beginning to end, that's gonna. I mean, he went into hiding for a reason. It's not like he just was like, I'm done. I beat the Emperor. I'm out of here. No, he was still doing stuff. So the fact that he was like, you know what? I see my nephew, and I love the fact that they put in Last Jedi that he fucked up. I love that
and he
moment.
acknowledges it because that's the whole point.
That's his arc. That he caused his nephew in a moment. Dude, who can't say they've had a moment of weakness where
Everybody
it was like you
has.
did something you shouldn't have done because there was like a okay, I'll just do it.
And you always know right away in that moment. You're like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yep,
you know,
100%,
and
100%.
Luke knows. He goes, I shouldn't have done it. You know, he puts away the saber and he's like, but it was too late.
It's too late.
Yeah.
And and also from Ben's perspective, it's like you're there with your uncle, and then he comes in one night while you're asleep and is going to kill you. I mean,
that'd be terrifying.
That's scary.
Yeah.
And I get his going, well, I can't trust whatever because it's not just I can't trust Luke, okay? You can't trust what Luke stands for, which is this Jedi Order. You go, okay, well, there's no trust. I can't trust because if he was like this and he was a Jedi, then I can't believe anything that the Jedi stand for.
And Ben already has trust issues because his own parents dumped him with this weird space wizard.
Yeah.
Come on.
Have you read the Last Shot novel?
I have not.
Okay. It doesn't really feed too much into it, but there's a lot of really weird stuff they did with Han Solo where it was like he's kind of a deadbeat dad. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't really, and it's weird to say, and it kind of works. You kind of get it.
And there's
because ultimately he does go back to who we see in The Force Awakens, which is going back to the only thing I know is.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a throwaway line in Force Awakens, and it's that they say Leia went back to politics and Han went back to smuggling, and that's it. So it's like we don't really get a ton of information about it in the movies.
So, I think that's one of those things that I understand what people are saying, but I also understand this almost in real time journey that Mark Hamill, Jesus Christ, that Luke Skywalker had. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of those weird things where I see both sides and I go, I think the side of like, now we are also talking about a thing where I always say it's a movie where people lift rocks with their minds. Like it's a movie with space wizards.
Fantasy.
It's not really grounded in reality, but there is the human element of relationship, and that's the entire point of Star Wars is family, right?
Yep.
So there is a element of realness to his struggle of what do I do here? Mm-hmm. And I think the impulse to turn the lightsaber off is more powerful than if he'd given into that impulse.
No question. And that's what we see him do in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
He strikes Vader down, and the Emperor's
I never thought about that.
I haven't either until
holy
now.
Shit.
Think about that.
That is fucking amazing.
The Emperor's like, good, now take your place
That's
by
a
my
good
side.
point.
You know, and then Luke tosses his lightsaber away and says
I never
no.
thought about that, dude.
And it's the same green lightsaber.
I never thought about that.
I never did either.
Absolutely right.
That's insane.
You should have said you've thought about that for years. And you just never
No,
said it just now.
I'm not smart enough. No one knows I'm smart enough for that. No one. I mean, everyone knows that. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow. In the face of evil, he turned the lightsaber off again.
The most
Jesus
Jedi thing
Christ.
ever, and that's why.
Dude, I was gonna steal that tweet right now, but I'm gonna let you do it because I think you need credit for that. 'Cause that's really,
I do
that's
need
really
it.
powerful.
I really do need
that's
that
really,
in my
really
life
powerful,
right now.
Man. That's
I'll probably forget.
You
so.
should do like a Reddit post of that. That would go viral.
What can I do? A blue it or a green it? What's a Reddit?
What?
A yellow it?
Are you having a stroke?
No. I don't know how to read it, but okay. I'll at least tweet it. I don't know. At least. But
That's really insane. I never put those two moments together.
It
You're
would
Dave
be-
Filoni, bro. You're the
it-
Dave Filoni of the podcast.
I am wearing a hat.
Yeah, it's true. Is it
It's not a cowboy hat,
not a
though.
cowboy hat,
No.
though. It's just the Rise of Skywalker hat. All right,
It
what's the
is.
next one?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to say too. We've said it on the podcast. The way Luke goes out is the most Jedi thing to ever be done. Not just death. It's the most Jedi thing ever. I think it perfectly summarizes what a Jedi should be, and hopefully what we see in like the High Republic, because we still haven't seen, except for Luke doing this, we haven't really seen like what Jedi are supposed to be. So I don't know. I loved his death. I loved the new Force power because we've talked about this too. Like, come up with a new Force power that doesn't seem ridiculous.
Yeah, we had that conversation
was awesome.
with Michael Shinnick.
Yeah. No, Kevin.
Did I say his name, Michael?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's Michael Shinnick?
I don't know.
Kevin Shinnick, the guy who wrote Force Collector, which is a great book about how hard it is to write a Force power.
And he basically has to do a whole book with a basically unknown Force power.
Yep.
Psychometry.
It's the whole plot of the book is this kid can
Yeah.
touch objects and see the past of that object.
And he doesn't have the visual medium that other things have. Like, we've seen it now in Fallen Order, the video game, but that came out after the book. So, like...
I think the game came out first.
Did it?
I think so.
I can't... Okay, yeah, look that up. I don't know for sure. Look that up. So, yeah, but now we've finally seen it. But he had to describe it completely just words. Obviously, it's a book. I mean, there's not even pictures in there. So, like...
I know this. I haven't looked it up yet. I know it came out in November.
But
November 15th. It's called
November 15th?
Fallen Order did.
Fallen Order,
And
15th.
then Force Collector. I'm curious, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Force Collector release date. I love the internet. It's the best.
And also the worst.
October 4th.
So the book came out first.
Book came out first.
But they were in development at the same time. So I wonder how much... Oh, dang, we should ask them that. That question would have been awesome.
No, we'll get it back on the show.
We'll get him
He's
back.
Awesome.
So anyway,
Thanks, Michael Shinnick.
Michael.
Oof.
How
Idiot.
we got to that was just like The Last Jedi touch... Wait, does Force Awakens touch on Force FaceTime at all?
No, not at all.
I don't
Okay,
think
so it's
no.
it's a brand new power.
It does, but when she touches the lightsaber,
That's psychometry.
she goes back.
So we had seen it once before.
We had seen it once before.
Ah, yeah. Okay. But that's our first instance of psychometry.
Yeah.
And then The Last Jedi introduces
But she doesn't do that
FaceTime.
again, though.
No.
That's the only time.
Yeah.
Huh.
So she just doesn't know how to activate that power and how to use it.
But wouldn't you
normally?
wouldn't you do that with anything? Like, 'cause she has that. Like, here's another example of what would have been sweet, because it would have built that moment up. I think in movies you needed to show like one or two examples if you're setting up a new Force power. Because when she touches the lightsaber, and that's the only time that ever happens in the trilogy, it's kind of weird now that I'm just now thinking about it for the first time. When she puts that Rebel pilot helmet on,
Yeah.
that would have been an awesome time for a flashback.
Right.
When she's sitting outside the AT-AT and she puts the helmet on.
Just eating her food.
like just to see like a and go. And people honestly going like, what?
Yeah.
And then when
she'd
you
be seeing the Battle of Jakku, the last battle of the Empire.
and that would have fed into the more of the lore of that.
Yeah.
And then when she did it later on in the film, you'd go, oh, I get it, because she did that and the thing with the helmet. Mm-hmm. It's like a subconscious.
What if
thing
she
with your
gets it
brain.
when she like touches R2, or if she flies Red 5 when she flies the X-wing? If she gets some of that,
She touches the Falcon. I mean, she's in the Falcon the whole time.
Yeah. Dang.
Missed opportunity.
Very much so. But I'm still.
I think we both broke Jessica's brain. Are you okay?
I think I broke my brain.
No,
so.
you didn't break my brain. It's just a lot to think about.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to process all of this and
What a missed opportunity for that. Like, in all seriousness, though, like for real, like to have that ability and then just never do anything else with it with that
Never
main
do it
character again is weird. What a weird
that
moment.
is really strange.
That's why I love this podcast. I hate The Force Awakens now. Change my mind. No, I'm kidding. All right, what's the next one? What were we talking about?
We just finished up
even know
Luke.
what we were talking about.
Character development
okay.
of Luke and his
Okay,
death
okay.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, one of the last issues with The Last Jedi is I had throughout the entire film, I had thought that they were trying to do a Marvel and be funny throughout the movie. I'm a huge Marvel fan, and I feel like that type of comedy should be reserved for that franchise, since Star Wars never had that in previous films.
That's completely false.
So I have to amend that.
Okay.
I have to amend that. They did have moments of that. But again, I'm also a huge Marvel fan. So now having seen the whole Marvel universe take shape over the last 10 years, I want it to be reserved for Marvel because Marvel does it so well. But I'm amending that comment because when you think about it, there have been those moments.
Yeah, I think it's where
the
Marvel
whole
got it
saga.
from.
Marvel just does it so good that I just want it to be for Marvel.
Do you
only,
know
if
that I hate Thor Ragnarok?
Yes.
Okay.
He's the
but
only
I
person.
don't think I can agree.
I know.
Whoa.
I can't agree with you.
Yeah. Like
You say can or can't?
I cannot.
Okay.
I love Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Me
it's a terrible
too.
movie. I
Same.
need to watch it again. No, like the whole in the first movie in A New Hope, there's a scene with Han Solo when he shoots the control panel. And he's like, "We're doing great. How are you?"
right? He's like, situation normal now, or whatever.
There's
A small
tons of
reactor
humor.
leak. Like
there's
how are
tons
you?
of humor in those movies. And,
Yeah.
and I
Anything
think-
with the droids, anything
and
with
I
Ewoks.
think that sometimes it doesn't work, which is when you realize that it's humor. Like when someone's trying to be funny,
yeah.
it's way more like, what are you doing? Versus when
it's
someone's
their
just
character,
naturally funny.
When it's just them. So
I could use a good kiss. That's a hilarious line.
Yeah.
But Harrison Ford is just naturally that dude. So it's like
Yeah.
it works.
And
You don't catch it as
It works.
a joke.
It's not forced.
Yeah.
I
I
think
didn't
it
find
works.
anything fun. I didn't think any of the jokes in Last Jedi were forced in any way.
now,
Especially the
I
one
think
at the beginning
now-
with
That's what I was gonna say.
with Poe.
yeah.
He's stalling. And Poe's naturally a funny dude.
Yeah,
Like,
he's just a goofy, funny guy anyway.
you seen that gif of him like dancing like this?
No, it's him and like the whole cast like,
Yeah.
doing that backup dance, the shimmy.
This one? I
Yeah.
love that gif. It's one of my favorite ones.
I think following Mark Hamill on Twitter, especially Twitter, I see more of his personality.
Was there a
His
specific
actual.
I'm sorry. We're talking about Last Jedi in this one? This is Last Jedi.
Last
right?
Jedi. Last Jedi.
Yeah.
What specifically in Last Jedi did you go like that doesn't work for me? Because comedy is I think comedy is the most subjective art form of all time, and
Easily.
I used to be a comedian, so I totally understand. So I just don't get what didn't work for you in Last Jedi. What didn't work?
I kind of thought that when he is working with Rey, he has these witty comebacks, and I was kind of just like, eh. And, even in the beginning of the movie where, I don't really know Oscar Isaac outside of Star Wars, as weird as that sounds. So
Ex Machina. It's his best acting work.
I have never seen that movie.
That movie is in my top 10 of
Neither
all
have I.
time. That movie's my
Whoa.
top 10 of all time.
Wow.
That movie's incredible.
I've been told I have to watch it,
It
but
is so
I've
good.
never gotten around to it.
It's in my low top 10, but it's in my top 10. I mean, it's up there with like movies I
It's
love,
there.
like Roger Rabbit and stuff. I mean, it's a fantastic movie. It's like Terminator 2 Judgment Day level good. It's really good.
Very high praise.
Maybe I'll watch that later.
So good. I think it's on Netflix. At least I saw it on Netflix. Because I didn't see it when
I haven't seen it.
No, I did see it when it came out. That's not true. I did see it when it came out.
How dare you lie?
Sorry, I lied
on the podcast.
I lied. I'm a freaking liar. God dang it. God.
I don't know. I think the humor with Luke training Rey is very like
Yoda.
reminiscent of Yoda.
Yeah, 100%. Yoda was silly as shit.
Luke's
when you
just
first
doing
met him.
it to mess with her. He just because obviously that same conversation
I
he's later talking about.
I don't get Yoda Luke there. I don't get that comparison at all because I don't
No?
find him funny. No, he's like, leave me alone.
No, she's talking about
That
when
is true.
he's got like
I
the
think going back and
Go
watching
away. Leave me alone.
Okay.
I don't want anything to do with this. This is not a joke. Please leave.
there's that, but then there's later on he's got like that like grass like flower leaf thing. And he
Okay.
like tickles
Yeah.
Ray's fingers with it.
That I understand. I forgot about that.
Did you like that joke
that
or
was
you don't?
that was
I
off
did
putting
not
to
like
me,
it.
and I think when I wrote this comment, that is the number one thing that I was thinking about when I wrote this. I mean, you go back and watch it now, and it's like, okay, it's funny, but it's like
Luke's
for
not
that
funny.
moment of the movie. Like,
Luke's
did
not
we
funny
do
there.
this?
I've always said that is Mark Hamill, not Luke Skywalker.
I can
But
see
I
that.
love Mark Hamill.
I do too. Mm-hmm. He's my favorite. if Celebration happens this year, I'm buying an autograph and photo thing with him. There's no way I can't meet that dude.
No
There's
question.
no way. There's no way.
I don't know. I think in that moment it could be him being like, I've never really had this one-on-one training time where like with this personal, he's like, I'm just gonna try it.
Could just be that he's just
Yeah,
fucking
I'm just
with
gonna try
Ray.
to
Like,
mess with her, see how she takes it, and it's like, oh, she thinks this is really the Force. Like he's also trying to gauge like her knowledge.
He also does an eye roll at the end, so he's like,
Yeah, he's like, oh,
idiot.
this is what I have to deal with. So he's like, I'm really screwed.
He's
So,
like,
I don't know,
she's a woman.
right?
Ugh. I'm kidding. Do I have to say that every time?
Yes, you
I feel
do.
like I have to say that
It's
every time.
2020.
You do,
That's-
because
that's
people
the world we
will
live
hear
in.
it in a different way.
Yeah, that's the world we
You
live
do
in
have
now in
to-
2020.
I wasn't kidding about that guy. You should definitely kill yourself. What's the next one?
Okay,
Kill
pretty
yourself.
pretty simple here, straightforward. Also, Rose Tico is an annoying twat.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like her character in the
I
movies
don't
at
not
all.
like her. I
Kelly Marie
stand by
Tran
that
is the
statement.
shit.
I love Kelly Marie
Tran.
Tran. Just in the movies, I do not
I'm
love
sure
Rose
she's
Tico.
a lovely person.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's lovely. I don't.
Oh,
like
don't
the
backtrack
character.
now, okay?
Stop
You
it,
said what
stop
you
it.
said, and you need to stand.
We all heard it.
I don't like the character. I have no problem with the actress because I know how much backlash.
Jeez, and you're a racist.
Wow,
Wow.
truth comes out on the show.
Backlash. I know how much backlash she got, so I feel horrible for her.
Do
You
a
get
better
what I'm
job,
saying?
though. Do a better job, though, huh? No, Rose
I feel
Tico's
bad
character
for
is
her.
lame. Paige Tico was a badass, though.
She's a badass.
But also, that's not in the films either. Like
know.
Rose is okay out of the films. Just in the films, I agree. Annoying. I don't like.
There is a one-shot novel that they did, the Rose Tico Age of Resistance.
Yeah, I've
comic.
read that comic.
That comic book
I
almost
have
makes.
that.
Have you read it?
I don't think I've gotten around to reading it, but I have it. It's
dude.
in my
It's
box.
so good. It makes you almost go like, okay, Rose Tico's a savage.
Yeah.
Like it's that good.
But
It's
that's
re-
not. It's like not portrayed in the films, and
Not
that's
at
No,
all.
what.
but
Not
that's
at all.
but see that's the thing with Star Wars is it's like I get those people who go, oh, I just watched the movies. Okay, well if you just watch the movies, then you can't complain about these other things that are going on that you're not privy to because you're not paying attention to them. It's a
It's there
multimedia
for you
experience.
if you want it. Yeah.
No, I'm not yelling at you.
No,
I'm just
no.
saying
No,
like
I know.
I'm yelling at that guy who's
Better not be yelling at me.
there's more to it now. Like there just is. Like it's the MCU is branching out from not just movies now to television shows. I'm curious how that's gonna carry over.
Yeah, I'm
like
definitely
to me
curious about that.
it's carried over for Star Wars fans. Like they're watching Clone Wars, they're watching Mandalorian. I think High Republic is gonna get people into the books and the comics, but like that stuff already exists. And I think if you want the full picture of things, then you have to. Like
You need to branch
just
out
have to.
and. Yep.
I think some of that like ancillary type material is popular in Star Wars because we've gone super huge gaps of time with no content. Like we went from 83 till 99,
98.
98, 99.
Well, that's not true because Shadow of the Empire came out in like
That's
97.
true, but like minimal content,
But that was a big deal. That was you probably weren't even alive in 97.
No, I
was.
was born in '97, so I
See,
do not
yeah.
remember anything of
Yeah,
'97.
So that was a huge deal. I mean, that was an N64 and PlayStation game and
Yeah.
a novel, and it was like the first thing that was considered canon at the time.
exactly. That was like the first
a big
step
deal.
of like extended
Dash-
universe.
Dash Rendar,
Right.
Have you ever played Shadow of the Empire?
Nope.
Dude, it's so fun. Go watch a gameplay video on YouTube of it, like the whole
There's
story.
a
It's
lot
fun.
out there.
It's fun.
My first Star Wars gaming experience was the original Battlefront for PlayStation
Gotcha.
2.
My first one, I think, was probably either, I don't know which one came first, if it was Shadow of the Empire or Rogue Squadron. That's not true. I take it back. My first video game experience with Star Wars was the Star Wars arcade game that they had at Disney Quest up until they closed.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh my god.
You'd sit in there and you could like pick between like the Death Star.
Was it the bubble?
Battle of
Was it
Hoth?
like bubble looking game, or
No,
was it a different one?
it was-
'Cause
it
I
was-
do.
I think they made.
I knew those
think
too.
they made that cabinet in a bubble game,
Yep.
but it was like you could pick the Death Star, the Trench Run,
Yeah.
Battle of Hoth,
Yeah.
and an indoor. And you were on a bike, or a speeder
Yeah.
bike.
Yep.
And then like you'd go through and you'd like there's like a joystick and it was one button and movement.
Yeah.
It was so friggin' awesome.
I remember that too.
So that was my first one, but
Yeah.
the home game was Shadow of the Empire, and I loved it.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. I was starting to say like Star Wars has
I
had
don't
those big
remember.
gaps in
Oh,
content.
about like
but,
having all the stuff. Like there's plenty of
Oh,
stuff out there to
yeah.
read,
Yeah.
and that's why. And Shadows of the Empire is why Rose Tico doesn't suck that bad. What?
roundabout way. Yeah. Yeah. For the transitive property, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
All right, what's the next one? But I agree with you, Rose Tico, and the film is kind of.
In the film is very annoying.
Yep, I agree too.
And she's always like, I just want to kick in everybody in this stupid, beautiful town. I hate that line so,
It's so
much.
dumb.
Canto Bite.
Can't
is
buy. Okay,
unnecessary.
the worst
Canto Bite
part
is
of that
unnecessary.
movie.
You didn't
100%.
even bring that up in this whole
Yeah, that's
typed up
shocking.
thing either.
Because it goes without saying.
That's
It
that's
goes
true.
without saying.
That's true. Yep. Yep.
Yes, it does go without saying.
We all agree.
Terrible. It was awful.
That wraps up your Last Jedi. You say The Last Jedi is not a dumpster fire like I originally thought it was. It has flaws, but I don't know a single movie that doesn't. I'd rate it a 7.5 to 8 out of 10.
Okay, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Revenge of the Sith.
How do you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10? Just for comparison. Is it perfect to you?
I want to say it's perfect, but I know it's not perfect. To me, it is perfect.
That's fine.
And
I'm,
maybe
I'm
that's
asking you for
subjective.
your opinion. So if your opinion of it's a perfect movie, then that's your opinion. So is it a 10 out of 10?
I know there's flaws. I know there is flaws in that movie, but personally, subjectively, I would give it a 10 out of 10 because I am a huge Hayden Christensen stan. So
Hayden got a bad rap on those movies, I think, except Attack of the
He really
Clones.
He did.
Yes, master. You'll try. That's on you, bro.
it's,
I would never
I
say
really
if you were
wanna-
like say, hey Brad, you're gonna be wearing a robe and you're gonna wear a lightsaber and you're gonna say you'll try. I would never say you'll try.
How
that's
would you
kinda-
say it?
that's-
How would you
I'd
say
be
it?
like you'll try. I'd say it like that.
That's
But
not
I'd say it
bad.
all sexy. I'd be
That's
like,
pretty good.
I'd put one eyebrow up and I'd be like, I'd have my dick in one hand. I'd be like,
I'm not making eye contact right now. I
I'd be
can't
like-
do it.
I'd be like, you'll try. That's what I would say.
not bad.
I'd go. You'll try. That's what I would do.
That's not bad. You're
That's how I
hired.
would say it. I'm the chosen one, you guys.
Of it. Oh my! Now that I'm thinking
Prophecy
of it,
that
I mean,
misread could have been.
his acting is not good. His acting is not good in that movie, and I
Just
really
do a
wanted
simple
to blame it
acting
on the
exercise.
script.
Go. Oh, okay. Say you'll try. That's 2 words.
Not
You'll
as
try.
Y'all try.
It's like he's on the spectrum or something. Which there's nothing wrong with that. But like,
no.
hey, do better, huh?
Now I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. He's a great actor. He's actually a really good actor. That's why it's so annoying because he's a good actor.
And to
Jake
see,
Lloyd's not a good actor. That's why you don't give shit to the little Anakin
He got
kid.
so much backlash.
He
feel
got so much
bad
backlash.
for him.
He turned into the dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That prophecy
Yeah.
actually came true.
It did. Yeah, he was. Oh, yikes, bro! Don't do meth, kids. Actually, do
No, wait,
meth,
you have to
do
try it to
meth,
see if
'cause
you like it.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
you'll know if you like it or not.
Yeah.
Holly, go buy some meth.
We need to try it. See if we like it.
It's full circle. Everything comes full circle.
Oh, you already have? You have some? Oh, okay. She has some already.
No.
Yep.
This is a joke, by the way.
Is it?
You guys said you're doing meth on the podcast. I can't listen to the show anymore. Bash your face into a wall, sir. All right, what's the next one?
That is it with Last Jedi. So if we want to put a pin in it or continue.
So what would what
So
would
it's
you
the-
score your initial viewing of The Last Jedi? Because you scored it a 7.5 out of 10. Going back to your original view of it, what would you score the movie? Like when you first walked out and you're like, what did I just see?
I would probably say an 8. I'm not going to lie to you. I was
Wait,
very
hang on.
excited.
Initial
I
reaction?
would-
Initial reaction to the film, not going into
Initial
it.
reaction.
After you walked out.
Well,
Because you said you hated it. So it can't be higher than what you gave
no,
it. When
I
you...
said I was confused.
Okay, fair.
I said I was confused, and
So
I
you would give it
think
an
at
8,
that
and then
point-
after rewatching it, you'd rate it lower.
maybe it's tough because I also was overcome with emotion because Carrie Fisher had passed away
I
a
know.
year
True.
prior to that,
True.
and seeing her on the screen, because at this point we didn't know that she was going to be in The Rise of Skywalker, so seeing her on
True.
the screen for what I thought was the last time made me so emotional that I was not confused about liking Leia in that movie. So I probably a 7, like a 6.5,
Okay.
7, 8. 8 was gassing it.
Okay, so
Like
so you gave it a 6.5 and it bumped up to a 7.5. That's all good, you know. It's the second best Star Wars movie ever made, but 6.5 works. Revenge shit's much better. You know what I'm saying? Like that's much better film. So that's fine.
Upon the rewatching of it,
You'd
I
be
would
okay?
say it is closer to an 8.
Okay.
But I don't want to offend you because I know that this is like one of
You
your
can
favorite
offend me, dude.
movies.
I don't care. It's all good. I know I'm. That's the thing. I know I'm in a minority, and I really do wear my Last Jedi shirt out in public just to piss people off, because I had an encounter with some dude one time at the Wizarding World, and it was like right after the movie had come out, and I'd already established that I liked it, and I walked up and I was like, "Hey, can I get a number, whatever the fuck?" And he goes, "Oh, Last Jedi," and I was like, "Yeah." I said, "You see it yet?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, that movie fucking sucked." And that's what he said on stage at the Wizarding World. And I was like, "Excuse me?" I said, "What didn't you like about it?" And he goes, it just wasn't. And I was like, no, specifically, what did you not like about it? And he goes, "I don't know, man. I just didn't like it." And he handed me my receipt and left. And I was like, if you can't tell me why you don't like something, I don't think you don't like it.
Then it's not valid.
It's not valid. You can't. The fucking things. Like I can tell you why I don't like Nickelback. Actually, I like some.
Please do.
Nickelbacks. I don't
Okay.
like. I do like some
Nickelback has
Nickelback.
some good songs. All
Nickelback
right?
does have good songs. I can tell you why I don't like. I'm trying to think of something I don't like. I can tell you why I don't like going to SeaWorld. Okay, it's weak. It's like they're trying too hard. There's things I don't like. I'm sorry, Holly. There's things I don't like about it. The animal enslavement. There's things I don't like about it.
Precisely.
But to just be like, dude, fuck SeaWorld, and then be like, why? I don't know, because I saw Blackfish. Like,
So you're woke. I saw Blackfish.
it's
So I'm
stupid.
woke.
You're hashtag woke.
you have to have a reason to not like something. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Going on to episode 9.
Oh, here we go.
Getting into it now.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, so you do come out
Right,
and
Star
say
Wars.
you were excited and you really wanted to like this one. So going into it, you say you're put off by the
Hang on.
beginning.
Wait, stop, back up. I think there's a real thing when you have over expectations for movies.
Oh yeah,
Back up.
not
Back
just
up
movies.
even further.
Anything.
Back up even further.
Backing it up.
Beep.
The audience didn't
Back
see
it
that,
up
but I
even
did.
further.
He did
I
the
did
shimmy,
shimmy
the post
back.
shimmy.
I
It looks good on
read the
camera.
leaked script.
Wait a second. What? Before you saw the
I
movie?
read the leaked script.
Why would you do that?
What the fuck is your problem?
It was an accident. I didn't
Whoops!
think-
I accidentally
How do you-
downloaded this PDF file
And then read the whole
accidentally read
thing.
the entire thing.
I didn't think that. I think I actually read it. I didn't actually read the script. I read it on Reddit, and I didn't actually think it was going to pan out to be true. And I read the whole thing, and I was like, all right, like I'll put a pin in this, and maybe it'll be true, maybe it won't be true. But then when I got out of the movie, I was like, wow, okay, like that whole thing that I read was word for word.
Wow,
like the exact
really?
thing that happened.
I didn't realize that,
Yep.
that happened.
Yep.
See, that's why you delete all the crap off your phone, and you don't get ruined by
That's
things.
why you bury your phone in the backyard and you don't touch it.
You go to Tatooine. You bury.
No one's been here in so long.
What's your name?
Brad.
Brad. I'm running from Twitter.
Brad
That's
Star
my-
Wars.
Brad, I'm
Brad
burying
Star
my
Wars.
phone.
Brad buries his phone. All right, go ahead. Continue.
Okay, so you say
I didn't read the script. I was put that
No,
out
I
there.
did not either. Thankfully.
We called a lot of this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen
Sadly,
to
we did.
Not
predictions.
good. That's not good if you can call
No,
it.
that is good.
But to be fair, I
We're
do need to
nerds.
say that we have gone hard on certain things, and I have predicted. Not even predicted. I've said
lot of
this would be
things.
a really good story that eventually happens.
Like character names and
Charac-
everything.
Character like, have you read the Ben Solo
The Rise of
Rise
Kylo
of
Ren.
Kylo Ren thing?
I have not.
Four
There's
issue-
a lot
four
that I
issue
need to
series.
catch
So
up
before-
on.
So good. It's a great series.
Well,
but
before this series was even announced, okay, I was talking about a character that I wanted to see named Ty Verasi. You can go back to this. I have a name for this character in my head the entire thing, and I go, I want this character to be at Luke's school during this whole thing and get offered a chance to be one of the Knights of Ren and then turn his back on Ben Solo and Ben Solo hunts him down and kills him, right? Mm-hmm. That exact story with the exact...
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
For the most part.
Not okay. I shouldn't say exact.
Close.
That idea with the same name happened in that comic book. I said years ago, before Galaxy's Edge was even like far along, that Star Tours should change the theming to where you land on Batuu. I mean, I've said some really weird shit that has happened. Mm-hmm. I've said that there should be a bippity boppity boutique for Star Wars, and there is one on the cruise ships now. Every time I say something, not every time, but I've said there is. I've said certain things that have happened, so it's not weird for me to get a prediction right. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's just it's even the name thing is still bothering me because I feel like someone's listening.
They never say his last name, but his first name is Ty.
It's Ty, and it's weird.
And he is the same character.
I haven't read all of them.
No,
I've read the
but you
first
told me
one.
about this idea when I first met you.
We're talking like back in last May?
Yeah, last summertime. You were talking about
like
this.
A year. So this is not like something that I just came up with randomly one day and was like, this is a long time. Mm-hmm. And it just happened. So it's not weird for me to, and I'm not trying to brag or
toot your own horn.
But it's I've said things that have happened. It just is what it is. So we guess a lot of Rise of Skywalker right. So I don't remember what the point of this conversation was, but that's why
we were talking about how I read.
I shouldn't have guessed it, but we guessed a lot of it right. I mean, I even guessed I remember saying that the Rise of Skywalker is going to be a moniker that Rey is going to take on. I said that going into the movie because there's no other Skywalker. I said it's either Ben Solo lives and he becomes a Skywalker,
or Leia somehow.
No,
but
I didn't.
That
think
wasn't
Leia,
possible. You didn't say it.
No,
but.
I didn't think Leia.
No, I knew it wasn't going to be Leia.
It was either Rey or Ben.
I knew in the back of my mind that it was going to be Rey. I knew in the back of my mind. I really wanted it to be Ben.
To your point, 2 idiots on the internet should not be able to guess your script. That's a solid point.
Facts, but it's also, in our opinion, at least.
I'm also smart.
in our opinion, at least, it's a decent script. We like it, so it's not. Yeah,
there's some holes.
Yeah,
like the Wayfinder or the dagger. But
we don't talk about that.
The MacGuffin.
That makes my eye twitch. It really does. I just feel like
I'm holding my eye right now.
So an eye patch.
You say that I was put off by the beginning, just jumping right in with Kylo and Palps. Shout out to Mustafar though. This wasn't typical, and I'm still deciding whether I love or hate it.
Okay, I love the frantic beginning because it just kind of goes boom. I think a lot of Star Wars kind of just meander. Like the beginning of Empire or of A New Hope is so slow.
My life is frantic, so I don't need that to transpire in my
You know what?
movie.
That's good about. Well, I shouldn't say that.
I will say this: if you don't like the way, but you like the movie, but you don't like the way it started, go read the novelization. The novelization doesn't start with that at all, and the novelization is based on the script that is finalized and handed into Lucasfilm, right? So the script starts with Rey doing the "be with me" thing floating, and it leads into this like mystical side of it, and leading into that. So if you don't like that aspect of it, then it kind of jumps to Kylo and Mustafar. It's like they took the first 2 scenes of the movie and just swapped them.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually would like to do an edit of the movie that's based on the novelization.
Okay.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. There's not a ton
I'm
of
not
changes.
going to do it, so feel free to do it. Anyone who's listening, I don't have time for that. But it would be a cool thing to do.
I love how it starts like that because, I mean, that's how the 2 Indiana Jones movies that count start.
Wait, there's 3 that count.
I know. I don't count the second
Temple
one.
of Doom?
Temple of Doom to me is
Temple of Doom is not bad. It's not
eh.
great, but it's not bad.
But they just throw you right in like an adventure. Indiana Jones is already chasing
Especially
down
the first
whatever.
One. The first one, like that
has nothing to do with the movie. Like that little idol, that has nothing to do with the movie. But it sets up.
Dude, I never thought about that at all.
No, I mean it sets up Belloc and it sets up Indy and their rivalry. But like that's it. The idol itself, who gives a shit? It doesn't,
it's meaningless.
Yeah. So like I love how this one starts. It throws you right in. You're like, we're doing this. We're getting a prequel shout out. We're going to Mustafar. Which everybody wanted Kylo to go to Mustafar.
Yeah.
So the fact that we actually got that.
I like it because it's not something you would expect. You go like, well, then we see because the whole time, like I don't know, for me and you were like, what's the Emperor doing back? What is he doing? Yeah. And then you see him like within the first 30 seconds, you're like, shit.
I think we talked about that too.
Let's go to Exegol, son. Let's do this.
We talked about that too before it came out. We're like, when are we getting Palpatine? Like, how much of it's going to be Palpatine?
I never guessed the first minute and a half of the movie.
Yeah, from the jump.
And then like, there's so much that gets explained in that. Like, it's almost like you need to watch that scene a bunch. So
Yeah.
I recorded it on my phone, and I had the audio on my phone. Not the movie, just the audio. Like I recorded
Just
like
the
a
audio.
podcast, just the audio, and I would go back and listen to it. And there's just so many little things that are explained in that, like
Yeah.
Snoke's a clone, and
I'm
I caught a
glad
lot
they
of
do that at
things
the beginning, so you're not spending the whole movie wasting your time.
explaining. Like you could have waited 20 minutes to have that scene, and then you would have
Yeah.
gone like, well,
Like-
now we're 20 minutes into the movie. How does this play out into it? So I
Yeah.
think, I also think it's like. I think the biggest flaw of this, and this is coming from somebody who loves the sequels. I think that I've said this 1,000 times. The biggest flaw of these movies is that there isn't a jump between 7 and 8. That's the
Yeah.
biggest flaw of
I
these movies.
agree.
Yeah.
It's where it picked up where it left off. But you also can't leave it the way Episode 7. Like Episode 7 shouldn't have ended with Luke and Rey doing the whole like handing.
That should have been the opening of
the
episode.
ending of the film.
Yeah.
Should have been Rey blasting off into
Right.
space with the Falcon.
And then they could have
because
had-
you could have just shot straight to the credits there.
Yeah.
And it could have been a 4-year period
And then
where
you can
Rey's
write-
looking for Luke.
Yeah, and then you can write countless comics and books filling in that 4-year,
And now
2-year, whatever
you've
gap.
written yourself into a corner where there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do in between those movies because
Yeah, there's no
you just
material
can't.
they
There's
can
nothing
make.
there.
Yeah.
There's no time. There's no time.
Yeah,
7 and 8 or to me 7 and 8 are one long movie.
yeah. Now, like, think about it. What are gaps between all the other movies? Between Phantom Menace
4 to
and
5
Attack
years.
of the Clones. What's that gap?
That's like
15?
12 years.
12? Yeah. And then
Like 10.
between 1 and 2 is like 10.
Well, no.
He's,
okay.
He's 9.
He's like 9
In Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, right? So he's like the same age I was
Then he's
when I
like
saw the movie.
19-ish in Attack of the Clones.
He's 19.
Isn't he supposed to be a
is?
teenager?
Hayden Christensen's like playing a 19-year-old
Oh yeah,
in the movie?
he's
Yeah.
he's
I thought he was like 30.
young.
No, he's supposed to be
no,
like young.
he's young.
He still has
could
his
wait
braid.
a second.
Oh,
How could
you're
you
right. He
still has
think
his
that he's
braid.
30?
Because he looks 30 in the movie.
Right?
I think he looks young. I think 19 is the perfect.
I'll buy
that's
it.
what I guess.
Because you're right. He does
Yeah.
have the braids.
He's
Still,
got the
still a
Padawan
Padawan.
braid.
He's still
Yeah.
a Padawan, so he's still
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
I gotta see. I gotta go back.
So
and
that's
watch
it. We'll just
I
we'll
gotta
call
watch
that
Attack of
10
the Clones
years.
now. I gotta watch it.
That's
Oh,
a 10-year
God.
gap. And then between episode 2 and 3 is a 3-year gap. And then between episode 3 and 4 is
20
massive
years?
gap.
And
20
then Rogue One leads. Like, why did they want to lead everything in it? Like,
Right?
they did Rogue One with leads right
straight into
four.
New Hope. Huh.
I don't know.
And then between the original trilogies, what? It's like less than a year between 4 and 5.
No, it's longer than that.
It's longer than a year?
Oh,
Okay, I don't
yeah.
know the timeline when
Yeah,
it comes
I think
to that.
I think it's 2 or 3.
Okay. And then between 5 and 6, it's like, that's less than a year. That one is for sure, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's. I think every movie has like a 2 to 3 year gap, but I think the gap between
5 and 6 is the shortest until...
No, I think it's the longest, right?
I don't think
Isn't
it
it
is.
5 years between 5 and 6?
I don't know. I don't think it is.
I feel like it is.
Man, they're a bunch of dicks. They let Han Solo sit in carbonite for 5 years. Can you imagine?
That's why I was blind, bro.
Oh man, that's true.
That's
But
why
then
I
we
was-
get
I
the
was
long
blind.
gap, obviously, between originals and sequels. But then, yeah, between 7 and 8, it's seconds.
That's so weird. Yeah, 7 and 8. It just goes like, oh, it literally could have. I actually kind of wish it didn't do the whole evacuation of Dakar thing.
Yeah.
and just went because you don't need to see that. You get it.
Yeah.
and then it starts with Rey handing the lightsaber to Luke. If you're going to do it that way, just do it that way.
Yeah, it should.
Because then it's like the whole thing with Finn where he wakes up and he's
Yeah.
like, "Where's Rey?" And you go to that anyway, which all that other stuff was pointless.
It really was.
Because it's pointless because you don't get any information between Paige and Rose.
Correct.
You don't know who Rose is at that point.
I mean, it gives us more about Poe.
Yeah, it's
Because,
true.
like, in Force Awakens, we see he's a badass, but we don't see he's a stupid badass.
yeah, it's true.
And then we get Last Jedi, and it's like, no, he's willing to kill 30 people in this one mission.
yeah, he's willing to take out his whole bombing squad. So he's a little bit of a savage. Okay, what's the next one?
I wish that we got more background on how Rey becomes so powerful. I know that this information is in the comics, but not everyone reads the comics. She just looks like a complete Mary Sue.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna say something real quick.
Oh God.
Ooh, that's very bad feedback. Why did they do that?
Whoa, that was odd. What'd you do to the mic?
That's all right. My headphones are about to die, so it's all good. I'm a hoodie.
What happened? Why does it sound like that now? Oh no! Oh man! Hang on. Is it yours? Hit yours.
I don't think it's mine. No, mine's working. I can hear it.
I don't hear the buzzing anymore.
There's
Okay.
no buzzing.
Hey, read the comics, huh?
Yes.
Because the
Just a little
story's
bit.
there. The story's there. Read the comics. So I don't think
That's
that.
what that was my disclaimer in there, was that I know that it happens in the comics, but you get a lot of those people that do not
The
read that material.
there. Marvel Unlimited is part of Amazon. You can like do it for $6 a month. Read the comics. But I don't think they explain anything in the comics as far as
With Rey?
Her Rey. or
Most
as
of
far as
her,
Rey.
I'd say 90% of her stuff is in the movies.
Yeah.
There's a little bit in Resistance Reborn, but it's not with her power.
No.
It's with her like relationship between Rey
her
and
and
Leia.
Leia.
Yeah.
Have you read Resistance Reborn?
I have not. I think I was looking at buying it.
Read the second half. Pretty
Shut
good.
up. Read the whole book. Dude, you're the only person that doesn't love that that book.
That's true.
You get that, right?
Yeah. Proud of it.
Oh, don't be proud.
I
of
don't
it.
change my mind on it.
That's really
I stand
sad.
by it.
That makes me angry.
Good.
I'm going to throw this microphone at you.
You probably will. You gotta be careful. Just watch it. He actually didn't do it.
That was the sound of me fake throwing the mic at Evan. No, that I don't. I think that it gets explained in the movie, which, you know, if that explanation doesn't do it for you, then that's a decision or, you know, feeling that you have to deal with. I always felt that they would. I always kept going. They're not gonna do this and not explain it. There's gonna be
Yeah,
an
they have to.
explanation for it. So
We
just was like,
might not like it, but there's gonna be one.
I thought for a long
And I'm
time
okay with
that
it.
she was Han's daughter. I thought that her and Ben were twins.
People would have freaked out so much though. Then they would have been like, "It's the original trilogy. It's too similar."
But was-
Unpopular opinion, I wanted her to be related to Obi-Wan.
But why Obi-Wan specifically?
Yeah. Well, I didn't really have a reason, just that they both have English accents. I know that sounds really ridiculous.
Well, if you raised her, I mean,
Yeah.
it would. But I also think that, like, I've always thought in Star Wars, like, the English accent just meant like you were a higher class of person.
Or you're a villain. Like that's about it. That's the only two options.
Or you're a villain. It's true.
That's why Carrie Fisher dropped it after like 30 seconds of A New Hope. Do you ever notice that? She starts
That
off
is
like
true.
super
She
British
did have
and
a
just
bit of
like
an accent.
Does she?
yeah.
She
You
does.
haven't noticed that?
No, I've never noticed
Yeah,
it.
she
Wait a
starts off
second.
so
She has
Seriously?
like
British.
a bit of an
Yeah.
accent in A New Hope.
And then
Yep.
like
No way.
like 2 scenes in, it drops. It's gone.
No, really?
Yeah.
I never noticed it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. He goes, I recognized your
Yeah,
foul stench
Governor
what you have
talking.
brought on board.
Yeah.
You're right. She definitely does have like a.
And then, like,
it's
later-
it's like a hang on. It's like a real shitty British.
That's why
accent,
she
though.
dropped it.
It's like she just kind of
Yeah.
says the words.
And then later she's like, "Into the garbage chute, flyboy." It's like,
I'm from Detroit. I don't know where
from
she's
Ghettoine.
Let's get away, baby. Fuck yeah. Yeah, baby. DeMarcus Landspeeder, bruh. Sorry, we have a character on the show named DeMarcus Landspeeder.
He's not canon yet. They will take him.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm real racist. DeMarcus Landspeeder from Detroit.
Ghettoine, bro. Get it right.
Ghettoine. It's on a small outpost planet on Ghettoine called Detroitia.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Oh, you turned into Bert. You're a bird all of a sudden now.
Oh, good lord. Detroitia. All right,
Moving on.
I don't even know what we were talking about. That's the
Moving
show.
on.
I feel like this the type of Jedi talk, a Star Wars podcast.
Sometimes.
In parentheses, what are we talking about? That should be the tagline.
I'm a huge Carrie Fisher fan, and I did not think her scenes were necessary. I know how difficult it was to make scenes around old footage, but I think they should have left them out.
I go back and forth on this one a lot because I go, do you want to see Carrie Fisher's death? And I put death in quotes, not on film.
Yeah.
Do you want to see, like, in the title crawl, like, Princess Leia has passed due to complications from her, you know, issues in The Last Jedi? I don't know how to put it, but like, would you rather
Like
see her
space
just like
sickness or
not
something.
be there, or them like it was literally an impossible task.
And
I go
think-
back and forth. I think that definitely, yeah, I go back and forth because on one hand, I think that it was, I don't want to say unnecessary because that's not the word that I'm
I just got
looking for.
electrocuted by a microphone. Sorry. Jesus.
That happens a lot.
Well, dude, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? Holly, we need a new
gonna
mic. I
burst
just got
into
electrocuted
flames.
by this thing.
It's gonna
my
burst
God.
into flames.
She laughs maniacally.
Don't
the plan.
laugh at me.
That's the plan.
I
Electrocution.
hurt myself. Sorry. God, I really did. That really hurts. Jesus. Sorry, I didn't know what you were saying because I got electrocuted. What were you saying?
Basically, I go back and forth because on one hand, her scenes were difficult. Like you could tell, and I think because we all obviously know that she's passed, you could tell that it's not, I guess, kosher is the word that I'm looking for.
It felt like they were. It felt like they clearly wrote dialogue around what she said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The two that stick out to me are she's like, "Don't tell me what you think is happening. Tell me what's happening."
Tell me what they are.
Or something like that. And then the other one was, "Never underestimate a droid." I'm like, why did you say that? What's that have to do with anything?
Yeah, very, very strange.
But aside from those two, I think they did perfect. Like, that's the best they could do with what they had. Best case scenario came out, I think.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, would you, and this is going to be set in stone, podcast history. Do you think they should have kept her in the film or left her out?
My God, this is so stressful.
Does that count? Does that even count as
This is so
flashback?
stressful.
Do we get rid of the flashback
No,
scene?
you can keep the flashback scene in because
Keep the flashbacks.
Okay.
I would keep the flashbacks. I would have left her out.
Me too.
That's doable.
Me
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Because then you don't write yourself into a corner. Like
Yeah.
even though it's like these scenes
Exactly.
that don't mean that much.
And then you have Lando coming in to fill the old character role.
Correct.
You know,
You could have just had Lando come in and just be like,
and we still have
"Send
Luke
Leia,
too.
my love.
Yeah.
She's dead," and he'd be like,
I was,
and like that would have been a cool moment.
Right.
Lando,
A cool moment as in
that was-
depressing.
Lando crying in the sand. He'd be like, "She's dead," and like what? I didn't know. That'd have been great. I would have loved Lando crying.
Why is
For 5 minutes of Lando crying instead of the time we spent with Leia.
that would have made Rey like the person that tells everybody like their friend died. She had to tell Luke that Han died, and then she would have had to tell Lando that Leia died. Can you imagine? She's like, "I'm the bearer of bad news," but
I'm the bearer of bad news.
They
I'm
did.
from Jakku.
they did, yo.
It's part of our. you know who does an insane Ray impression?
We found out. I found out last week.
I mean, insane.
If you close your
Ray
eyes,
impression.
she's in the room.
Lolly, who's been on the podcast before, dude. She can do a Ray impression where you go like, "Holy shit!"
She's better than the ones on Batu.
She doesn't look like Ray at all.
No.
But 100% sounds identical to her.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that I don't like doing my Ben Solo or like Kylo Ren
Which is
impression around
bad
her.
because yours is good.
Because
Like,
she's so good at Ray, it makes me angry. It's just she was like not wanting to do it in front of you that day. And I
no,
was
she was like,
"Do
I don't
it."
know if I want to. I'm
I was
like,
like,
do it.
do it. It's so
Do it.
was-
Do it.
It was so good.
it was good.
God, she does a good Ray impression. Tweet at her.
I'm intrigued.
Ask her to tweet
Oh my
her
God,
Ray
it's
impression.
insane. It's insane. I'm gonna get her to. You know what? Maybe we should call her in a minute and have her do it on the end of the show. Yeah, and that's why Rose Tico's terrible character.
That's
what
not
we're talking
what we're
about.
even talking
What are we
about. How do you get there?
I don't know. I just always go back to the Last Jedi.
Right?
Oh,
Okay.
Carrie Fisher. Yeah, I think they should have just figured something out
They should have kept the flashbacks. Should have left
because
her out.
everyone knows she died. It's not like it was a secret.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been a while. Like she passed.
It wasn't like she died like when the movie was premiering.
She passed away. Like
When Last Jedi premiered
yeah.
Yeah.
No, because
after, right?
2017. She passed away a year before that premiere.
Oh yeah, it was
But
before it premiered. That's right.
Yeah,
Because
'cause
Celebration
we-
was all about
we
her
watched,
being dead. 100%.
Yeah, we watched The Last Jedi knowing she was gone.
Yeah, that's right. And then you see her again. It's just like it's almost like you can't milk this emotion anymore.
Yeah, it's over. It's done with. Like,
So, what are you
no
gonna do?
offense.
She's dead. Move on. And that's what Carrie Fisher would have said. I'm dead. Move on.
That is
Yeah.
precisely what she would have said, and I think that's why. I'm
It's so weird, right? Because you're like she wouldn't have wanted this. She'd have
Right.
been like, "Why are you recycling shit that I said for a movie you didn't use? It wasn't good enough then, but it's good now that I'm dead?" That's how she would have handled it. She would have mocked everyone. She'd be like, "Why are you crying? Like,
Right.
you know, like get over it." She was awesome. I loved Carrie Fisher.
Big dick energy.
Billy Lord looks creepily like her. 100%. Billy Lord looks creepily like her in some scenes in American Horror Story. You go like, "Oh shit, that's her." It's
know.
weird. And in that flashback scene, I know they like did some facial manipulation, but there's something about like from here up on Billy Lord, her eyes,
Yeah.
like this part of her face looks just like Carrie Fisher. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's the next one?
Totally does. Next up,
I love Billy Lord.
Next up, we have. Well, my phone is spazzing me out at the moment.
Oh, good.
That's great.
That's fantastic.
A reflection of me, I guess.
I tell you, get a new phone every day, and you still got this like Android 3.
That's very true.
Get a fucking new phone, bro.
I will one day. So, Palpatine returning is the biggest problem that you had with the movie. The clone theory just seemed like a quick cash grab to try to get diehard fans interested after Last Jedi. At first, I thought this was awesome, but honestly, they should have let Palpatine die in Return of the Jedi and did more with Snoke. Snoke was a super interesting character. It would have meant more if Snoke learned from Palpatine and became the main villain of the sequels.
Okay, I agree with you there, but I will say two things to this. The people don't like Palpatine coming back because it kind of negates Vader's change at the end of the film.
And it negates the whole Chosen One thing in a lot of people's
But
eyes.
it doesn't, because his choice to do that is the choice. Mm-hmm. Whether the dude lives or not is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. Like, he chose in that moment to keep his son safe versus letting him get killed, right?
It
doesn't matter that the dude lived 30 years later and came back and built up an army slowly so he could retake the universe over, the galaxy over. Like, that's irrelevant. He still chose, hey, I'm choosing my son over the Emperor who has been behind me all these years, right? He still chose his son.
At a time in the prequels, he calls Palpatine his friend.
That being said, I freaking love Snoke. I have a Snoke action figure sitting right in front of my Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit statue that I got for Father's Day 2 years ago, okay? It's in front of it. I love Snoke. It would have been interesting, but he also would have been shown as a puppet this entire time. Oh, wait, you're saying not have Emperor Palpatine back at all, right?
Correct. That he knew Snoke and he like trained Snoke a little bit, but he's gone now.
I don't know. It honestly, like, him coming back was something they had planned from the jump, because if you go back and look at the Force Awakens concept art book, there's a lot of concept art with them going back to the Death Star and like the Falcon underwater, a lot of weird shit. I've posted it before on Twitter. I get the sentiment of like not wanting him around for it, but it kind of would have felt, I don't know. It would have been, I don't know. It's hard to say. I get what you're saying, but I think bringing him back was kind of cool. It brought all three trilogies together.
And it brings in things from some books and comics and even a little bit in the Clone Wars. Like, Palpatine's always been about kidnapping Force-sensitive, not just people or aliens, but like animals and objects. And he's been trying to clone for a long time. There's a series in the Clone Wars, like, it hints that he's trying to clone Force people.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I need to watch that.
So, like, he's been cloning and trying to figure out cloning for like 40 years. So he's finally figured it out in his eyes.
I think what they need to do is they need to just explain how the First Order came about.
Right. That'll clear up so many things.
Do that,
Yeah.
That'll clear up so many things.
I thought that's what Resistance was going to do. I
Me
really
too.
did.
And
I thought they were going to do it, and they just didn't. It was just like these dummy pilots flying around a friggin' oil rig. It was stupid. But I was like, come on, just show me this. Like, and I think the Mandalorian season 2 has a real chance to fill this gap in, because I've been saying forever it was 25 years after Empire Strikes or Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
it's 5 years after.
Yeah.
I've been saying it wrong the entire. I've been saying it backwards.
People
the
knew.
entire time.
Yeah, people knew what you meant though. It's 25 before Force Awakens.
Yeah, I mean, was that how I was describing it?
I think so.
Okay, because I got on Wookiee Radio last week. Which shout out to those guys. That was a fun podcast. Check it out, Wookiee Radio. I was a guest on their podcast the other day. I said it wrong, but I think they just need to explain the rise of the First Order
for sure. But the problem is now when they do, it
also,
won't be.
Rise of the Resistance was a title that I put out for Episode 9.
It was
when the day I saw Episode 9. You can look it up on Twitter.
Very true.
That's another. There was another one that I was like,
yeah.
Rise of the Resistance would be a great title for Episode 9.
Also a great title for a great attraction.
But that was. I mean, have they even started construction yet? Barely.
Planning.
All that stuff. All that stuff gets done 15 years in advance.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah,
but like it's just weird. Another one of those weird things where I just feel like that was weird. That was weird that I said that, and that's weird what it turned out to be. I think Snoke being the main villain would have been great until you find out, because it would have come out he was a clone of Emperor. So then you would just go, well, why is the Emperor here? And then
unless he's just another being that Palpatine trained. I mean, Palpatine's trained so many dudes.
But then what do you do with Kylo and him in Episode 9? Like,
that is true.
Because that's the whole. Kylo,
his whole arc is that he's like rebelling against all power and wants to be the main dude in charge.
We get the end of Last Jedi and the beginning of Episode 9, where Kylo is the main villain. So we basically get a whole movie, that second half of one and the first half of another, where Kylo's the villain. And I'm fine with that. I love that. I think he should be the main villain of at least that part of the franchise.
Yeah. Supreme Leader. I mean, they even started calling him Supreme Leader at Disney.
Yeah.
They
did?
Yeah, when you go to meet Kylo Ren now, after Episode 8 happened, he was Supreme Leader.
Yeah.
Listen here, okay? When I went, nobody really gave two shits about Galaxy's Edge with me. I was like the only
better
one.
people in your life. I think
Or
you
just need to learn to do whatever the heck you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. That's the best part about going to the parks by yourself. It's like you just do whatever the heck you want.
Well,
Dude,
I was
love
planning.
it. Sorry, Holly.
I was planning a solo trip, and then Miss Corona happened. So I was planning a solo trip, but it's tough when you go with family. Like I love going with my family, but it's tough when you go with family because you have to do what everybody wants to do. It's not about what one person wants to do. So it's rough. No one wanted to really go to Galaxy's Edge with me. I think the first time I saw it, I had taken the Skyliner. I had gone by myself because I wanted to appreciate it without my family nagging in my ear that they wanted to go do something else. And it just happened to be like really cold that day. So I didn't really get to enjoy it the way I wanted to. So
it's disappointing. Well, when you come next time, we're all going to get together and we're going to have a big party on Batu.
Yep.
I'll buy your first fuzzy tauntaun because you haven't even been to Ogus, have you?
No, I had a reservation and then everybody bailed out at the last minute. God. I had a reservation.
You all got charged $10 a person.
Jeez.
What a disappointment. Yeah, we'll when this all reopens and we're all good, we'll all go together. We'll have a good time at Ogus.
Definitely.
We got like, okay, I'm gonna say this, but let me finish the sentence before you judge me. We started getting recognized not because of the podcast, but because we were there so much.
Very true. That's like my ultimate goal in life. Once I hit that, I'll be fine.
It wasn't like, oh, you're those guys from the internet. It was like, oh, you're those guys that come here.
You were here last Tuesday, right? Yep.
Hey, get outside. Let somebody else
get out of here.
Listen, I wish I lived close enough where like they could recognize me from being there so much, but I am unfortunately 8 hours away. But that's still way closer than I was when I lived in New Jersey. So.
Truth.
Word.
Yeah, it's really cool when your local bar is Ogus Cantina. I just throw that out there.
Oh,
right?
I know.
So
your local
jealous.
bar is a different
sadness
planet.
in her eyes. You can see the light die. It's great times.
Dang. Speaking of things that destroy things, anyway.
Oh, God. All right, go ahead.
Stream of consciousness complaint here. You go, a Star Destroyer that can destroy an entire planet coming from the ground? What?
What do you mean by
confused.
that? Coming from the ground. That was
how
what
do
you
they
said.
come
How are
from
you
the ground?
confused?
Are you
How
talking
did they come out from the ground?
You might be.
Where did
The
they
Star
build them?
Destroyers?
How did they build them underground?
It's Sith power, right?
Everyone that lives on Exegol is a Sith cultist. So they've been building this fleet for 30 years, 40 years.
But why did they come from underneath the ground?
Because that's
They were
where
hiding.
Palps was hiding them. Papa
They were
Palps.
hiding.
He's a shifty guy.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And I
I
think
don't know.
the fact that they have like a cannon on the bottom of them that can destroy planet like the Death Star.
Okay, hang on.
Is miniaturized Death Star tech.
It's miniaturized.
They hinted at it in Last Jedi.
The battering ram canyon.
That was the next
ram
evolution.
Battering ram
cannon.
Is it ram cannon?
Say that
Okay.
5 times fast.
I can't say
Right?
it once.
I can't say it half the time.
Battering ram cannon.
Cannon. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say canyon. Battering ram
Grand
cannon.
Canyon.
The battering ram cannon. Yeah, it's miniature. Like that to me, that makes sense. Like if you look at a cell
That's the
phone
next step
from
of technology.
1985
Yeah.
versus a cell phone now,
All right, fair enough.
real
Fair
time has
enough.
passed. It's going to get smaller. The technology is going to make sense, and it's going to be able to be put on a ship. So to me, that wasn't a weird stretch.
Yeah.
It was
I don't like that they came.
It
from the
was
ground.
convenient, but
It's
it
very
wasn't.
convenient,
It wasn't. It
but it
wasn't
makes sense.
far fetched. Where it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
I don't like that they come from the ground. That is my biggest holdup.
the icing. I think it's just. I honestly think it was just a visual way to like
It is.
shock you and go, oh shit,
And-
a Star Destroyer.
And it gives a way for Palpatine to lift them with the Force. I don't know.
His little stupid wrinkled sausage fingers.
With half a finger and no fingernails.
My
and-
finger's gone. There it is. Thanks, Ray. Grandpappy. Old Palps whiskey.
Welcome to the family reunion on Exicle.
Go fight. Okay, I don't know if this is said at all, but my biggest complaint about that movie is go find Ray and kill her. And then he goes, I never wanted you dead.
Yeah, that's
The
just,
fuck? What are you
That
talking
is-
about?
That's just
I know.
Palp
You did
being
say that.
Palp. We don't. Is he manipulating Kylo? Is he just being stupid? Does he mean kill her but don't kill her? Yeah, we don't
You
know.
did say killer
He
because
did.
that was the
He said kill the girl or whatever. And
the girl.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of kiss the girl from
Sha-la-la-la-la-la.
Stab, oh stab, you're gonna kill her bad. Go on and kill the girl.
I think we've hit the lowest low on the podcast.
I think I need another whiskey.
Yeah. That's definitely the solution to this. All right, moving on to something that's weird. The worm scene was weird. Also, since when can Jedis do that Healy thing?
Since the Mandalorian season 1 that
Which came
dropped
out
the
4
day
days
before,
or- yeah.
they totally did. We've talked about this before. They totally
You
did
talked
that
about
on
it the
purpose.
night we watched it. You turned to me and you're like, this is for a reason.
Oh
Why-
yeah, because we
yeah.
that was back when we were watching every Mandalorian season episode together
Live
at like
together.
4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
We literally, and I was still working then at Disney.
Yeah, I was working too, yeah.
We would literally, he would come spend the night. We would go to bed at like 11. We would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
to watch the Mandalorian as it dropped.
That is peak nerdum.
There
right
were
there.
nights that we would wait and we would refresh it and it wouldn't be on there yet.
Yeah, we'd wake up and be like, we set alarms. I was like, 3:45. All right, is it on? No. All right, I'm going to sleep for 20 minutes and see if it's on again. That is
That's
peak nerdum.
dedication.
So,
But we watched that episode.
I looked at
and he-
him and I said, because they adjusted the release schedule. It was like
Right, it was
supposed to be on a
every Friday.
Friday,
But then
and
they're
they
like,
released it
this
on a
one's-
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that.
It was on a Wednesday, and I said, "There's
Yeah.
a reason they're doing this," and it
Yeah.
was because there was a trailer, and I was like, "I didn't even watch the trailer."
He only
for
watched
it.
2 trailers, right?
I watched the one at
The
Celebration,
final
and
one
the
and the
final
one at Celebration. That's the only things
only,
he
Only
watched.
2 things I watched for that movie.
I
Yeah.
watched all of them.
Nope, you can't. You
The
cannot
TV
do
spots
it.
is when they
The
kill
TV
you.
spots were
Don't
ruined.
watch the TV spots. That's when they kill you.
Wish
Be
I'd have been
like,
your friend back then because I would have told you the TV spots ruined Last Jedi.
Yep. Disney
There
does that
was-
with every single movie. If they have a TV spot for their movie, it's going to spoil something.
Yep,
Don't watch it.
100%.
There was a TV spot that they had. I think it was like Sunday Night Football. They had it. I forget like when it was, but it gave me chills. It was such a good trailer.
can't
It
watch 'em,
like
though.
dropped on like a Sunday Night Football. I was very confusing, but it was so good.
Yeah, those TV spots are dangerous, man. I won't.
Deadly.
I don't do anymore. I learned my lesson from The Force Awakens.
And they put them on social media too. So
Like, there was-
getting off
there was li-
social
yo,
media
hang
is
on.
good too.
There was literally a Force or the Last Jedi that I went back and watched them all after I see the movie because I like seeing what they showed and seeing how it fits together.
True. Yeah.
They showed a scene from Snoke's throne room where Rey gets Kylo's lightsaber, and that's a trailer.
Yeah.
The fuck are you showing?
I don't
want
want to see that until I'm in the movie seeing that.
What are you showing that for? Like that's a pivotal scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Why
that's
are you
like
showing that?
when they showed Darkseid Rey in the trailers.
Yeah, but that you could go. That was the D23 thing. There, you go like that could be a vision, which it was, which is exactly what we said it was. It was
Yeah.
a vision.
Everybody thought it was a vision, mostly.
or it was what I had hoped for from the beginning that Rey turns dark and Ben turns
Yep.
good, and we got this like
That's
crossover.
what I
That's
thought.
what I was
that
hoping.
should have happened
That's
in
what
The
I
Last
wanted.
Jedi.
God, I was
That would have been
hoping so.
cool.
I was hoping so, especially in the Last Jedi when she goes straight to the dark. I was like,
Yeah.
give me this,
Yeah.
please. But sadly, that's not what happened.
But yeah, the force healing, it's still not confirmed. I'll die on this hill. I think we actually see Obi-Wan do it to Luke on Tatooine, but
No, that's
it's not
force
confirmed.
healing.
It's,
No.
I don't know.
He's
I'm gonna
checking
die
to
on
see
that
if he's
hill.
alive. I know you're one of those.
That's what I always say.
That's not what it is.
But
Because
I think
that's retconning. That's legitimate.
That is
retconning.
retconning.
Where it's
It
like
is.
you go, okay, that's not what happened here, but we're going to change it to
But
make
to
it fit
me,
our
it's
narrative.
always made sense if they did that. It wouldn't be like a
It
stupid
wouldn't-
retcon to me.
Exactly. It wouldn't be the
It's not
dumbest thing.
necessary. They don't
It's not
need to go
necessary.
back and do it.
No.
But if they did, I'd be like, okay.
Because you get it with. I really want to see how they move forward with Baby Yoda because I feel like he's going to have to get killed at some point.
Ugh.
For him
No,
not for
please
him
no.
for
Please
him,
no.
for him not to be around during all this and to be that powerful where he can stop a mudhorn in midair and heal the Mandalorian
That is
at
true.
that young of an age, something has to happen.
Unless they go,
And if they don't kill him, you're a coward. Kill him.
you're not going to like what I'm going to say they could do, which I don't
Your
think
pouty
they will
face
do.
looks so sad.
I was right. Everyone will be sad.
I love Baby Yoda.
Dude, if that drops on a weekday, everyone will take the next day off of work.
That'll ruin your
like
day.
no one's gonna go to work
Oh,
the
yeah.
next
You
day.
need bereavement.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Somebody close to me just died. Can I take a day off from work?
Like, no, the Mandalorian came out. You cannot. You're like, I didn't see it yet. Spoiler, bro. Damn.
I think the only way of not killing him is if they go full Dave Filoni and go World Between Worlds, and
No.
because Ezra Bridger,
Don't do that.
Ezra Bridger didn't die. He's in the World
No.
Between Worlds,
Please don't do that. I hate that.
so
I hate
that's a
the World
possibility.
Between Worlds. Do you know what the World Between Worlds is? Did you watch Rebels?
No.
It's basically time travel in Star Wars. That
I feel like I've read about it. I haven't
Oh.
seen Rebels, but I feel like I've read about it, so
I
it
hate
sounds
it.
familiar.
Yeah, I hate it so much. I hate
That's the only way they can get away with not killing Baby Yoda is if they do that.
World Between Worlds literally almost killed Rebels for me as a whole because it's so ridiculous.
I've watched almost all of season 1. This is a super side tangent, but when does it get good? Because I can't.
Well,
It's such a struggle.
Don't. It's not okay. Hang on a second. Let's go from the guy who told me to watch the Mortis arc.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind to think that Rebels isn't anywhere near as good.
It's not right now.
You're crazy. It's
I hope it
already,
gets good.
The first episode is way better than anything I saw up until the last season of Clone Wars.
It's better than the Mortis arc, but it's not good so far.
It's
I know it
it's
gets
a
good,
kid show.
but
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
it's slow. It sets up certain
Very
things.
slow.
You have to feel it out. It's not. I'm not saying it's great, but it's better than anything you friggin' made me watch.
I didn't make you watch anything.
Yes, you did.
Nah, I didn't.
You know you did.
Come on now. You have ultimate willpower. You could have been like, no,
That's fair.
I'm not watching that. Okay, moving on
It's like a bell.
to something that was cool.
I was just gonna say, is that
ice
your
cube.
bell?
It's an ice cube in a
He
glass.
rings it when he wants more alcohol.
I need more Jack Daniels.
Ding, ding,
Where's
ding.
the help?
Jeez.
Holly, please can I have another drink, please. Just Jack, please. Jack on ice.
So you say the ending scene was cool. You're pissed that Ben Solo, a redeemed Ben Solo, died. I think that's what did it for me. Maybe I love a good story of redemption because of the original trilogy. I know that Ben had to die to complete the Skywalker saga, but I'm still angry.
I'm angry. I'm angry.
Dude.
I really like his arc.
I am the biggest Kylo fanboy out there, and I love it. I think it's
He
all
became
perfect.
my favorite character in
Same.
this whole trilogy.
Same.
So
Me
it's,
too.
It's
Same.
yep.
But I'm fine with it because he finally, even though, yes, he's dead, I think most of the Skywalker saga has been tragedy. So it's kind of
True.
filling to have it end in tragedy from his standpoint. And he did get to do something that no other Jedi has ever done, save the one he loved from dying.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
that's the
Yeah,
most
fair
Jedi
enough.
move because he does it by sacrificing himself. It's not for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love everything they did with him.
I also think that they couldn't like. Same thing with Vader. Like, you can't redeem that
That's
dude
true.
and just have him walk up back and be like, "Hey, I'm your dad, Leia."
Right? Can you see
Like,
him?
he has to die. Like they
Like-
could. Ray could not have brought Ben Solo onto the board of the Millennium Falcon with Poe, Finn, and all those guys, and just been like, "He's good now." I'm telling you.
Can you imagine? I think
you have to trust me. They'd be like,
Chewie would get over
Chewie would
it
strangle him to
after
death.
after
No.
strangling him for
No,
that.
no, Chewie would never. Dude, are you? Come on.
They were like, that's his uncle. Like,
He killed Han
it's
Solo.
Chewie though.
Kill
He's got a
Han
heart of
Solo.
gold.
Han Solo.
Nah, Chewie would get over it faster than anybody.
No chance.
He would.
No
No.
way.
Nope.
No, he's got a heart of gold.
They will rip.
That's
your-
his little
they will-
nephew.
They will rip your arms out of
Yeah.
your socket if you cheat them on Sabak.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Dejarik.
Yeah,
They're
or
not
either one.
They're not gonna just forgive you
What do you
killing.
mean they? Are you just generalizing
I
Wookiees
am.
now?
Fuck the Wookiees.
Wow.
You tree monkeys.
Jeez.
It sounds racist and it shouldn't.
I think we broke him. He's finally broke. He's dead.
Oh God.
Come on, Bert. Get it together. Get it together.
Oh, good Lord. No way, dude. There's no way he's just gonna forgive him.
Yeah, that's like his nephew, his little
Now,
nephew.
would there be
there.
a cool story in him being redeemed, like
Yeah.
in the eyes of the tree monkey? For sure,
the
it'd
tree
be
monkey?
It'd be interesting.
Next, when Batu opens, I want to see you go to Chewie and call him
Like
a tree monkey.
my tree monkey, and you're like, and walk away. I'm like, fair
Yeah,
enough. I
that's
shouldn't have
fair.
said
That's
it. I shouldn't have said it with a hard Y.
Anyway, you're also pissed that Anakin didn't show up in the fight scene. We hear
I'm
his
very
voice,
upset.
but you were dying to see Ghost Hayden Christensen.
Not me.
You know, the original chosen one.
Nah, you don't need it.
Again, giant Hayden Christensen stan. So I
Understandable.
really wanted to see. Hayden Christensen was my first crush. Like
Natalie Portman was up there for me. I do
The
think
Tree Monkey was up there for me.
I do think my first technical crush was Jessica Rabbit, which is not fair.
No, because she's
She's
drawn
not a
that way.
person. She's not bad.
Yeah.
She's just drawn that way.
Would you play patty cake with her?
With a fake character?
Yes.
If she was real?
Patty
You know
cake.
how weird she would look in real life?
Yeah.
No thanks.
Okay. with
I-
Anakin being a Force ghost, I think that would have to push them going either all in one way or all in the other way, where they went all in with everyone having a voice talking to Rey. But if they had one Force ghost there, I feel like they would have to put 16 ghosts.
Now that you say that, I mean, wouldn't it be cool if you kind of got to see all of them show up and kind of surround
No,
her?
it would have been too much. It
And
would have been
also,
too much.
not all
You-
of them
you
know
did-
how
but-
to become a Force ghost.
Exactly. That's not a
It's
power
only
that every
Yoda,
Jedi
Qui-Gon,
can do.
Luke,
True.
and that's it, right? Anakin,
I love
right? Four.
would love Mace Windu. Get up, motherfucker!
But yeah, tired of all these Skywalkers.
I'm tired of you white Skywalkers trying to defend the galaxy, and you threw me out a motherfucking window.
I love Samuel Jackson so
Me
much.
too. It's so weird that he was. You know who? Trivia question. Do you know who they originally approached to be Mace Windu?
Denzel Washington.
That's your guess.
That's my guess.
Okay, what's your guess?
I don't even have a guess. Probably because I'm just so
Michael Jackson.
Stop. I don't even have
Come
a
here,
guess.
Yoda.
I'll say Denzel Washington.
Come here,
because I don't
younglings.
have a guess.
That's what Evan said. No, the correct answer, and you can Google this: Tupac Shakur.
No.
What?
Yep.
George Lucas is bonkers.
When Tupac.
When did Tupac die?
Why? Wait, what?
When?
Why?
She-
I was like, he got shot. To death?
That's why he died. He wasn't in Star Wars. He's like, I might as
second.
well
Yeah,
die.
look up Tupac Phantom Menace casting.
Whoa. Another
Wait a
interesting fact
second.
about Phantom Menace I've just found out this week.
It's true.
At the end of the credits, they play Vader's breath of the Phantom Menace.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I never knew until now. The movie's 20 years old, and I just found that out.
But wait a second. I'm still confused. Probably because I.
Well, okay, remember the movie came out in '99, so
when
that
did
means
Tupac die?
she used quotes. Oh, she's a conspiracy theorist.
I just don't think that he's dead. But
Whoa.
He got shot to death. He's dead.
when did he die?
I want to say like '94 or '5. And,
So
and
how
it
could
wasn't.
he
He
have
wasn't.
been
Okay,
in
he,
99?
he wasn't cast. He was initially considered for casting. They were going to originally cast him as Mace Windu. because he's black.
It says here on Rolling Stone, it says Tupac Shakur auditioned to be a Jedi in Star Wars.
That's what it was.
That's
I
It's
may
either
have
that or that's clickbait,
I am Burt
one of the
Kreischer.
two.
I may have conflated that fact, but it is true that he was in consideration for it at one point.
I did not know that. Oh, wait a second. Although the period in which Shakur auditioned is not clear, shooting on episode 1 began in June of 97, less than a year after the rapper's murder in September of 96. Okay, fair enough.
dang. Interesting fact.
Yeah, there you go. Well, he at least auditioned. You know what? Okay, fuck it. I'm sorry. Edit that out. No, I was kind of right? I don't know.
Don't edit that out. Yeah, don't.
Okay.
You just said considered same thing.
Okay.
Same thing.
I feel like
Same
I
thing.
fucked the show up now. All right, what's up next?
It's messed up every episode, man. It's normal.
Oh, thanks,
it's
man.
what we
Appreciate
do.
it.
It's what we do. Any show you've had me on, mistake.
Wow.
Ooh.
You've made a lot of mistakes in your life, and
I
I'm not
have.
one of them.
I am one of them. I'm the biggest mistake. Next, you say the whole Rey Skywalker thing needs to not be a thing. I get that it's symbolism, but if we killed Ben to end the
don't like it. I
Skywalker
don't like
saga,
it.
then
Still?
don't make her another Skywalker.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Okay,
Well,
she's not a Skywalker. She told a stranger with a space llama that she was a Skywalker as a reason to not get shot because they probably Tatooine probably has some stand your law ground where she could shoot her for being on the fucking property that she just bought. And so
Yeah.
instead of that, she probably just said, I'm a Skywalker.
And that property was owned by Skywalkers before, so yeah, so it's fine.
No, I actually really like it. I think it was really cool that she to me it goes how much Rey appreciated Leia's teaching and Luke's
and
teaching. And she just kind of goes like, I'm a Skywalker.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
isn't But doesn't that defeat the purpose of saying that, okay, the Skywalker saga is over? Because now it's really
Defeat the
not.
purpose? What do you mean?
Because she's a Skywalker, quote, quote. So doesn't it kind of, like, you're saying, okay, well, the Skywalker saga needs to end, but now she's a Skywalker. So doesn't that defeat the purpose of saying that the Skywalker saga ends?
No, because I think that like the whole. So okay, I look at it this way. I go, okay, Rey is really a Palpatine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What's more important for her growth as a character? To embrace being a good Palpatine or embrace the good name of a Skywalker already? And I just think it makes more sense as a character to distance yourself from the evil because you're, and this goes back to Bloodline. Have you read Bloodline? I know you have, right?
No, I haven't. I just know it.
Dude, what the fuck? Come on, man. The whole point of Bloodline is that the galaxy finds out that Leia is related to Vader. That's the whole plot of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's running for Galactic Senate, and the galaxy at large finds out that she's related to Vader. Okay, that's the entire plot of the book, and it's about that hurdle. Why would you make your life harder by keeping the name of the most evil? Imagine your name was Jess Hitler.
I am very German.
It could be. It very well could be. That's why she goes by Jess Exotic.
But like, imagine for real. Imagine for real. Your grandfather was Hitler, right? And you met Jason, and like his family was really good to you, and you go like, I can't go by Jess Hitler, so I'm gonna take Jason's last name. What makes more sense logically?
And also,
Imagine you're going to fill out an application at your new job, and you're like, "What's your last name?" Is like Hitler.
I'm pretty sure on an application you have to legally put your legal name, so you can't
Your legal name.
change it.
I'm sure Ray
But
did the
this is Star
paperwork.
Wars.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ray did. I'm sure Ray did the paperwork.
Yeah.
No, I totally get why people are saying this, but I just go like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Why would you keep that name if you didn't have to?
I'm
And it's not
undecided
like
on
you didn't like kill the Skywalkers
Right.
and then just go, oh, my name is Rey Skywalker.
Right.
You earned it. She's a fucking Jedi. She had their lightsabers. She was the closest character to Rey, other than Han and Luke in the entire franchise.
Oh, to Leia. Rey was the closest to Leia.
What'd I say?
You said closest to Rey.
Sorry,
I just wanted
Rey
make
was
sure.
closest. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rey was the closest to Leia. Other
yeah.
than Poe, maybe, but like, it's just kind of assumed that they're close.
Yeah.
You see them together, and even in the fucking Force Awakens, she hugs Leia. There's a connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate the argument of like, well, they just met each other. Okay, well, sometimes you meet somebody and you just know that they're the right
And
person
you just
for
click.
you. You click.
Yeah.
That was you and me, dude.
Yeah.
We went to hang out. Okay, this is how we met. We met online, like a Tinder
YouTube.
date. No, it was on Tinder, bro. Don't lie. It was on Grindr. We met on Grindr.
That's what it was, yeah.
And we went to. we met on Twitter and we hang out at Oga's. And we had a conversation about Star Wars. I don't even remember what we talked about.
Me
Really
neither.
don't. It was
No,
just
I don't know.
It was a natural, casual conversation. And we left, and Holly was with me. And I look at Holly and I go, I think I'm gonna ask Evan to do the podcast with me. I said, he really knows Star Wars. He knows his shit. And she goes, really? You just met him?
Yeah.
And I was like, I said, I feel this is right. And here we
When
are,
you
dude.
know, you know.
Here you are.
Yeah.
And just because they didn't know each other that long doesn't mean doesn't mean you don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
It's when you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
That's how I met Jason. That's when you know, you know. That's
Right?
when you fucking know, you know.
You know.
So to me,
Exactly.
on top of the when you know moment, they also had all this other screen time together to get to know each other better. So for
And
me, it doesn't
off-screen
feel
time,
short.
too.
Yeah,
Books, everything.
It doesn't feel cheated.
Yeah.
I mean, she helped with the whole Batu thing. Like, it doesn't feel
Right.
it doesn't feel weird at all. It makes total sense to me.
And also, okay, for better or worse, whether you like it or not, this whole naming thing has been established in Solo, where it's not a literal blood name,
No, please, I hate that so much.
but it makes Skywalker make sense. She's claiming them as her people.
that moment almost ruins the fucking Solo movie.
I don't like it that much either, but
No, dude, it literally almost makes me so angry.
it is the dumbest part in Solo. That's not.
I
a
haven't seen
question.
Solo.
But no. Whoa.
Nope.
Whoa.
Why?
So
It's fun.
going
You would
back
like it.
to going back to how that came out after The Last Jedi. So I was boycotting
Oh
Star
no.
Wars
What the
at that
fuck?
point.
Oh
and
no.
I never watched it.
You've
That
never
and
seen
Donald Glover. Donald Glover
What?
did not sit right with me.
What?
I don't know.
He's the best
think-
part of that fucking
love
movie.
Donald
I think
Glover
Donald
so
Glover
much.
should stick to being childish Gambino.
No.
He's the most
He's
talented dude. He's
fantastic.
so good at everything.
He's the best. I want you to know I just want to let you know you're 100% off on this.
Maybe I will watch it.
You need
should.
what
You
you
should.
do after this podcast is go. It's on Disney Plus. Go watch
Yep.
it. It is so much fun, and it ties into the Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run attraction.
And actually, tomorrow is its
right.
anniversary too. So
Is it really?
yeah.
Oh.
Ah.
Fair enough.
Now, is it the best Star Wars movie you'll ever see?
No.
But it's better than Rogue One, in my opinion. But that's also not saying much. I'm
But,
gonna
but he's
rewatch
right
Rogue
about
One
that too. He is right about that.
You like it better
What
than Rogue
don't
One
you
too?
like
Yes.
about Rogue One?
It
is my
feels
question.
contrived and it feels forced. It is a complete the first. Here, okay, you know my big problem with Rogue One? The book leading into Rogue One was better than the movie explaining Rogue One. The book Catalyst is amazing, and it's a really, really solid book that leads into Rogue One. And then there's a time jump between the ending of Catalyst and then the start of Rogue One, and it just doesn't feel like it flows. And it's Rogue One is boring until halfway through the movie. Until they're leaving Jeddah, that movie's boring.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird because, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, that Jason does not like what Disney did with Star Wars. He likes Rogue One.
See that
Like a
people say
lot.
that. People say that.
I think it's the
a
perfect
boring,
film.
It's a boring, predictable movie.
Yeah.
You know exactly what's going to happen the entire time. It's like they're spoon feeding you nonsense. Just
I
like,
think that's why it's
"Do-
the
do
perfect
you
film
like it?
for like casual fans.
Here. You like the first movie, right?
Yeah.
This is going to lead right into it. Here, take a sip. Take a sip. Take a sip.
Exactly.
Take a sip.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's like I'm not that dumb. I know
But
what's
the
gonna
casual
happen.
fan is, and that's why most people on
You're
the street
insulting her boyfriend right now. You need to watch your mouth.
sounds like he is a pretty casual fan.
Is he? Is he casual? Well, he doesn't like anything other than the original
He's-
trilogy, right? So I would say probably he's a casual
definitely,
fan.
Yeah.
He's like I said, he's more into Marvel than he is to Star Wars.
Gotcha.
He likes the originals. He hated the prequels and will not even finish the sequel trilogy.
That's
so
madness.
he's
You don't even. But
definitely.
I can't say people who don't like things that they haven't tried or seen.
Right?
That drives me insane.
Heroin.
Because you don't. And that's why I'm going to
Meth.
shoot up right after this podcast
Yep.
and just give heroin a shot and just see
Try
what
it
happens.
out.
I'm kidding, lawyers. I'm kidding. Yeah, go watch Solo. It's fun, and especially if you have done the Smuggler's Run attraction, you'll hear a lot of familiar
Yeah.
words. Coaxium.
I was
That's about it.
Were you a pilot? You were probably
I
a
was
gunner.
a pilot.
You were a pilot, left
Wait,
or right?
did you-
I was a pilot.
So you
the
didn't
first
do-
and last
do
time
single?
I did it.
You didn't do single rider then, right? You waited
No,
in the
I
queue.
went with my mom.
Okay. Okay. Nice. That's
Were
the way
you,
to
She
go.
liked it.
were you left or right pilot?
I think I was left.
Did you pull into hyperspeed?
Left. Yes, I was left.
Wait, hyperspace is right.
Hyperspace is right. Did you pull into hyperspeed? Did you pull the lever in
Pull
hyperspace?
the lever, Kronk. I went back and forth, not left to right.
Back and forth is left pilot.
Yeah.
No, it's right. Left is up and down.
What? Up
Dang
and down.
it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Up and down.
It's
You
been
didn't
so
know.
long
You were left
that
I
I'm
went up
questioning
and
my
down.
memory
Yep.
of Smuggler's Run.
I'm not.
That
I'll,
is
I'll
terrible.
never forget, dude. The
Oh,
crew we had on that
so
first
terrible.
trip was so fun. It was me, Sam from Exodus Theme Park. Oh, dude, it was so fun. It was so good. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, watch Solo. You'll like it. It's fun. And I don't know how you can't like Donald Glover, but since you don't, you're still gonna love him.
Laura Dern and Donald Glover. Like those are the most likable people on the
I
planet.
know. She's like, who else you hate? Tom Hanks.
I'm sorry. I'm
Chris
sorry.
Pratt?
She's like, fuck Tom
Nah,
Hanks.
I
I
you
love
Chris
asshole.
Pratt.
I love Tom Hanks. I love Chris Pratt. I heard
Chris
Pratt
Evans?
in there somewhere. I love Chris Evans.
Okay,
I love
okay.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Evans
She's
is
like,
like
fuck Ryan
a
Reynolds.
puppy if he was a human.
Huge Robert Downey Jr. fan.
Okay. So you have good taste. It's somehow you just don't like Donald Glover and
Yeah, the
All right.
Donald
Yeah,
Glover
this is like
thing's
the
weird, yo.
oddities.
man.
Yeah, what the fuck's your
it's like
problem?
the oddities.
Yeah.
All right,
I have
is
a
it-
lot.
Are we almost done here?
We're almost done.
Okay, we're 2 hours in. This is insane.
Right? You start concluding by saying The Force Awakens was a great movie. It may have been a rehash, New Hope, but that movie got me genuinely excited for what was to come.
Fair.
I wish we had stuck with one director. JJ isn't a bad director, and neither is Rian Johnson. I wish we just went with one or the other, so we got a continuous vision throughout the trilogy.
Argument there. The only person who did 3 Star Wars films in a row was George Lucas, and it was the prequels. And those were goddamn
the
disaster.
prequels. But
she
Those
likes
were
the
goddamn
prequels.
disaster. Secondly, a different person did all 3 original films.
Yes, thankfully.
I did actually know that.
George Lucas, Irvin
Kershner.
Kershner, and
I always
I
forget,
always forget the
Jedi.
dude from Last Jedi.
I always forget
or
Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
God dang it.
I can tell you Kirshner all
I always
day.
forget it. I always forget it.
I'll keep going. You look up that. Then you go on to say, it wasn't my favorite trilogy. In fact, it was my least favorite because I adore the prequels. I'm excited for
Richard Marquand.
Yep.
God, it drives me nuts. I always forget him.
You say you're excited for the new content with the High Republic coming. Star Wars needs a much-needed break from the movies. I'm 100% okay with waiting till 2022 for a new movie.
It's going to be longer than that.
Sadly, yes. I enjoy The Mandalorian, so that'll be enough to hold me over. I also read comics and the books, so I'll be fine. I hope the new movies reinvigorate the franchise. It'd be stupid for me to hope that it fails. We talked about that so many times.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a fan of something, why
don't
do you
want
want
it
it
to
to fail?
You don't root for it to fail.
Right?
You cannot like it all day. That's the whole point of this conversation. Is like you can not like it all day, but
you
hoping
don't
it
root for
doesn't
it to
do
fail.
well. Like I don't hope Harry Potter fails. Like I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Like
Neither am I, and
those.
I've watched three
I'm
of them
a
now.
very casual Harry Potter fan.
That's
like I
kinda
read
where
the
I'm
books,
at.
I saw the movies. Like
Seen the
I was
movies.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I know what
Good,
parcel
but-
tongue is. Like I know a few
Yeah.
things
I
about it.
just found that out today.
Did you watch the movies?
No,
Are you
yesterday. I
Are
found
you
it
watching
out.
them?
I've watched the first 3.
And
They're terrible. It's so weird. They're like, okay, we're going to show you 2 hours
do you
of random
see-
school
do
things.
you see
and then
why I go
they kill
Harry-
Voldemort.
do you
It's
see
like,
why I
okay.
say every Harry Potter film should be called Harry Potter? Don't do that, but it's okay. You can do
That's
that. 'cause it's
exactly
Harry
what it
Potter.
is.
Thank you, thank you. That's exactly what those movies are.
And then
Don't-
they-
Harry Potter, don't do this.
But you should.
But if you do, it'll be okay because you're Harry Potter.
Exactly.
that's impeccable.
That's such a good Dumble
Dumbledore?
Snake impression or whatever.
Dumbledore.
Don't say you know his name, you
I,
son of a bitch.
I do know his name.
Don't act like you don't know his name. Don't act like you don't know his name. You have to like trail off. That's
Yeah.
the
And
key
his
to a
eyes,
Dumbledore.
you get the eyes, too.
Yeah,
Just,
you have
like,
to like
look away.
Not only do you have to
Look
trail
away.
off, you have to like look off like you got distracted. It's like
Look off into the
Evan,
distance.
I'm so disappointed in you and your behavior.
That's perfect. You
That's
just
the key
fade
to-
and look off.
That's the key to a Dumbledore
Yeah.
impression.
And occasionally walk away when you're saying it. That's
And
another thing.
Just disappear out of frame.
I think it was one of the first things I said to Brad was how good his impressions of people.
Right?
That
He's
was
got
the-
so many good
That
ones.
was the first thing you said to me.
He's
and I
got
was
so many
like,
good
I
ones.
don't think that's true.
They're
but
they're
thank you.
definitely spot on.
My favorite one to do lately has been Droopy Dog.
That yours is so good. It's
Have
such
you,
a
have
good
you
one.
heard my Droopy?
Does she know what it
I've
is?
never
That's the
heard your
question.
Droopy.
You know who Droopy is, right?
I know who Droopy is, but I've
Okay,
never heard
a lot of
your-
people don't.
Have a good day, sir.
That's perfect.
It's my favorite to do.
That's really good.
Your
That's
Bill
that's from-
Farmer's good
that's from-
too.
That's
Your
from Roger
Goofy's
Rabbit.
good.
It's from
Like,
Roger Rabbit. He goes,
Yeah,
Going up, sir.
that's such a good one.
Have a good day, sir.
it's hard to do. I'm a little intoxicated. Thanks, Jack Daniels.
Couldn't
This
even
episode
think of
brought
the
to you by
second
Jack
part.
Daniels. If you
Yeah.
like charcoal filtered whiskey, it's not.
What you
it's
do.
not sponsored. I do like charcoal filtered.
I wish it
whiskey.
was.
All right, is that it? Is that the last thing?
That wraps it up.
Okay. Before we end the show, you have a few minutes for listener questions.
I do have.
'Cause
I
you're
have
a part
lots
of it.
of minutes.
Okay. now that we've gone through all this, you've rewatched Rise of Skywalker. Where do you stand with the movie? Love, hate, in the middle.
I am still in the middle because when
That's what popped up on Twitter. I hate you.
I hate me too. I'm somewhere in the middle because I need to really like dive into them. I need to watch them in a different light because I know that Disney Star Wars is not going to be the originals. It's just not.
George
So-
Lucas's Star Wars wasn't the originals. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's an impossible thing to live up to, and I think
Exactly.
people need to realize that. Like, there's nothing you can do that is ever going to capture the magic of those films because there's a lot of factors that go into this. You were a kid most likely when you saw Star Wars, and everything you see as a kid is better than when you see it as an adult. Perfect example:
Agreed.
the show Bonkers. Now, there are some kids cartoons that hold up over time. You know what? I'm gonna change it. Rocko's Modern Life. When I was a kid, I loved the show Rocko's Modern
Yes.
Life. It doesn't hold up as an adult. Darkwing Duck holds up as an adult.
Yes.
Tailspin holds up.
Yes.
The Disney Afternoon, all those shows, Cat Dog holds up, SpongeBob
Yeah.
holds up. There's lots of that does hold up.
SpongeBob is timeless. Like
Completely timeless.
Yeah.
That show's going to hold up in 50 years, 100%.
yeah.
But
yeah.
there's just certain things that just don't hold up. And I think the ideas that you have as a kid of what Star Wars is going to be just doesn't hold up because you can't recapture what you felt as a 7 or 8 year old.
Yeah.
I mean, I took my kids to see the Star Wars, Did I say see the
See
Star
the
Wars?
Star Wars.
The fuck's
Star
wrong with- I
Wars.
was gonna say the
I
Rise of
don't
Skywalker. I took him to see Rise of Skywalker. My daughter really liked it. My son is like casual. He's like, I like it. But he likes Marvel more.
Okay.
But I like seeing it. I just don't get why people can't accept the fact that just because you liked it as a kid doesn't mean that everything else that they do in that is
It's
not
bad.
valid.
Yeah, that too.
That's a wrong perspective. It just is.
That's kind of the perspective that I took originally because I just wanted that original like Star Wars magic. And I realized that you're not going to capture that exact feeling. Like I'm not going to get the feeling I got when I was 8 years old watching Return of the Jedi for the first time. I mean, I'm looking at it in a different light because it is Disney Star Wars and it's going to be different. So rewatching them definitely helped me form some more, I don't want to say bias because that's not the word, but you understand what I'm trying
I would
to
say
say.
like informed.
Yeah.
Yes, informed, yes.
And I'm not trying to put anybody down who doesn't read the books and stuff, but like there are things that tie in, and that's the point of those novels and those books is to tie in.
To fill
Like,
in those gaps.
those points of the novels aren't just to like just have shit that's there. Like you
I mean,
have to tell
it's
the story.
good for Disney to have, and they make money
Yeah,
off
for
it,
sure,
obviously.
of course. But like that's not what sells it. What sells it is that it ties in and it makes sense to the rest of the franchise, right?
Right.
So I just think anything you do other than the original trilogy or whatever you saw, like there are kids
As a
right
kid.
now that are seeing this this sequels trilogy, and that's my kids. My kids don't have any interest in the original trilogy or even the prequels, but they will sit down and watch every moment of The Force Awakens, every moment of The Last Jedi, every moment of The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
That's Star Wars for a generation of kids.
Yeah.
And that's going to shape, and there's going to be a director who saw. There's one day going to be a director. We're going to be doing the podcast
Who's gonna
episode
talk about-
5,426.
Yeah, they'll talk about the sequels.
Where there's a sequel trilogy director whose first introduction to Star Wars was his dad took him to, or her dad, or their dad, what the fuck you want to say? Their dad took them to see The Force Awakens, and that molded them.
Yeah.
And then that got their interest in the rest of Star Wars. Like that's how it works.
That's kind of cool to think about, though.
It is. That's how it's going to be. Like it is. Like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
Like
then they're going to be.
who would have thought the kids that were sitting in the theater to see The Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, which I don't claim. I think Attack of the Clones is terrible.
It is.
Everybody agrees.
100%.
I think it is terrible. Who would have thought that, you had kids sitting in that theater that is Star Wars for them, just like it's
100%.
Star Wars for me. I love the originals.
There's no more
But-
proof of that than going to Galaxy's Edge. I haven't been and had a full Brad and Evan breakdown of Galaxy's Edge, which we should do.
We've got some, but not legit.
We should
some.
take this when it reopens and do a walkthrough and give all the details of stuff because you and me know more about Galaxy's Edge than I would
Everybody
say
except
95%
Scott
of people.
Trowbridge.
Yeah, we know a ton about GE.
Yeah.
That's because we call it GE because we're cool.
I just call it Edge. Because I'm
call it
edgy.
Edge.
I'm edgy like that.
I think you're talking about U2 when you say Edge.
Yeah. Wait, what?
The guitarist from U2 is the Edge.
Yeah, I'm going to see Edge. I hang out with him all the time.
I hate you so much. in all seriousness, though, you have hung out. I'll spit on myself. You have hung out at Galaxy's Edge more than anybody I think on the planet.
I believe that too, for sure.
There have been days where I would text him and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm going to Galaxy's Edge." And
Or
it
I'm
would
just like,
be-
where do you think I am? And you're like,
it would
Galaxy's
be
Edge.
12 hours later, and he's still there.
Yeah.
Like,
Opening day.
This dude has spent more time at Galaxy's Edge than I literally think anybody ever.
Yeah, I believe it too.
I sincerely believe that. That's not a joke.
Going through withdrawals, serious withdrawals right now.
Yeah, I miss
Bad.
I forgot what I was talking about.
I don't know.
And that's what makes this podcast fantastic,
It
and why
does.
we have $100 million exclusive deal with Spotify.
And Jack Daniels.
All right, you ready to do some listener questions?
Word.
Let's do it. All right. First one. It's only like 3. First one is from Tomal Duck at me Tomica25. Was Rey's Sith lightsaber supposed to be Luke/Leia sabers combined with different crystals? No.
No.
No, it looks like it looks like a completely different hilt. A Vision wouldn't know what hilt Leia had. So
That's true.
absolutely not.
Because, yeah, Ray didn't know at that time.
No.
So that's true.
So no, definitely not. That's an easy one.
I like the thought, though. But
Actually, you know what? We're gonna just because one's Disney, one was a silly one. So we're just gonna go with this is the last one, and then I'm ready to go. I'm tired of sitting here yelling. My voice is gone. This from @DisneyDad9, Disney_Dad. Which book should I read next? Aftermath, Leia, Princess of Alderaan, or Catalyst? I would say definitely not Aftermath. Aftermath just opens more questions than it solves.
I think Leia out of those, Princess of Alderaan.
It depends on if you're going to watch Rogue One anytime soon.
True.
If you're going to watch Rogue One anytime soon, I'd say read Catalyst, so it's fresh in your brain. If you're not, I would say Princess of Alderaan. I think Leia, Princess of Alderaan has stuck with me more than any other Star Wars book.
Stuck with you thematically, character-wise? Like, what do you mean?
All of it.
Okay.
There's things that, like, there's some books I go like, oh, I know I read the book, but I can't remember things about the book.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, even with Force Collector, I love it, but there's like certain things I just go like, I could describe for you in detail the plot of that book.
Mm-hmm.
It just stuck with me for whatever reason.
I'm fuzzy with some things in Force Collector, so I get that. I'm fuzzy with some things in Black Spire, so I get that. But like for the most part, if I read it,
I could not explain to you Black Spire.
No?
Like I love the
could,
book
like,
and I know
generally
it,
covered,
and I
but-
know I read it and I listened
Okay.
to half of it on audio. But
yeah.
I know I consumed it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much of that book I just go like, yeah, sure, I guess. Like
But like the details of it, you can pull out.
I can pull out details of Leia of Alderaan too. I mean, that book is just insane, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
It might be my number one Star Wars book. It's really, really good.
I don't know. You say that about a few.
What do I say it about? Resistance Reborn.
You said that about Resistance.
Stand by that.
I think you said it about. Well, obviously.
Anything
Claudia Gray does,
anything
you're
Claudia
high
Gray-
on, for a good reason, because she's good.
Except
Phasma.
no, that wasn't
That wasn't Claudia.
That wasn't Claudia Gray.
Who wrote that?
Phasma was. I almost said Valentina Shevchenko. She's a UFC fighter.
I don't think it was her.
Oh my God, I've met her too. Delilah. I didn't look it up. It was
Dawson.
Delilah S. Dawson.
Yes.
Delilah S. Dawson.
She's good. So
Valentina Shevchenko. What the fuck?
how do you get
Where did that come from?
out of Delilah S. Dawson?
I don't know. I love Galaxy's Edge, the Crash of Fate book.
Mm-hmm.
That one's another one I go like. There's like some details.
That's
about
one I can't tell
Galaxy's
you
Edge.
anything about, and I know I've read it.
I
Obviously,
think the problem is I read these things too fast
Yeah.
because there's so
I can
much.
see that.
Like when
Yeah.
when I have two Galaxy's Edge books and two books that like directly lead into Rise of Skywalker, I go like, oh.
yeah. And that was in that deadline. You had to get done before the movie came out.
For
so you were
sure.
just flying.
What was that book that was like the YA book that was like the red book that I have that I was like, it was really fun, but it wasn't anything like I would read again. What book was that? I have it outside in the
I
garage.
know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't tell you.
It was like there was like these bunnies that they have to. It was a really weird book, but it made sense when you're reading it. It sounds insane, but it was good.
It does.
But I can vividly tell you the entire plot of Layla.
Layla? Holy
Layla.
cow.
Layla.
Jeez.
Leia, Princess of Alderaan. It's a really, really solid book. So I would pick that one over it, unless you're going to watch Rogue One, because I think Leia, Princess of Alderaan, does a really good job of setting up the Last Jedi, but like it does it in a way where you have to pay attention, because when it's like, oh, this is great. Oh, this is Laura Dern's character, Amilyn Holdo.
Okay.
Oh, this is blah blah blah. I don't want to ruin it, but like. Catalyst just goes, oh, you're about to watch Rogue One? Well, here's a bunch of backstory on it because they don't tell the story well.
Okay.
Because Catalyst is like required reading if you're going to watch Rogue One, but it doesn't make the movie better. You
I
just
was
go
about
like,
to ask
why the
that.
fuck isn't this in the movie?
So it makes the movie worse.
No, it makes the movie better because the movie lacks in this substance and it gives you
Okay.
the substance. But it's just like, why was this not shown in the movie? It's more frustrating than it is like good, I guess.
Okay.
It's still good.
Yeah.
But it's like, why wouldn't you just show this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I having to read this?
Because at the time they knew that book and that movie was coming out. So it's like, why couldn't you just
Just
figure
put it
out
in the movie.
Yeah, just figure out where
because there
to
are
put
flashbacks in the book that happen in the movie. You've seen Rogue One, right?
I have seen Rogue
Okay.
One.
So in the scene where like they're having that flashback, I forget who's having the flashback, but I think it's Jyn Erso having the flashback of
Back to Saul.
No, where they're on Coruscant, and you go, "Oh, is that Coruscant in your
Okay.
brain?" And it
Yeah.
is Coruscant because that scene is in the book,
Okay.
and it's an awesome scene.
An extended
between-
Coruscant scene? Or-
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
It's an extended scene with Orson Krennic,
Yeah.
Galen Erso, and
Lyra.
Lyra
or
and
Erso.
and Jyn.
Yeah.
And it's a great scene.
Okay.
But I would much rather see it
Oh yeah, no question.
in the movie because
Yeah.
you already are doing the flashback.
Yeah.
So just show the fucking scene.
And then I get more of
And
Ben
take some shit off
Mendelsohn and
Jedi.
Mads Mikkelsen interacting. Like,
and you get it more because like there's a lot of emotional stuff in Rogue One where like if you don't read Catalyst, you're not going to get the emotional connection. So I think of all, and dude, you know how much you know how I feel about Rogue One, okay? Of all the Star Wars books that can directly affect a film, there is no book more important than Catalyst to Rogue One. It is that
makes
it's
sense.
monumental of importance because you get all these, you get like, instead of like seeing them and assuming a relationship between Galen Erso and Orson Krennic, you get the relationship the second they're shown on screen. You get it already.
Yeah. The actors do a great job in the limited time they have together in Rogue One of showing they have that past. But like, I'd rather just see that past, like you're saying.
Read Catalyst, man.
Okay,
It's good.
for sure.
It's really good. It helps, but that movie I don't love. Okay, I guess that's it. Does anybody have any more questions? Anything? Evan, you got anything? Jess, anything? Go eat some dinner. Jess,
Yeah,
where can
I'm
the
good.
good people find you over on the internet if they want to get in contact with you?
They can find me on Instagram, which I just made private.
Smart
which is-
move.
which is nuts. It's gonna be at JXSSICA Meyer MEYER. Same thing on Twitter. I'm more active on Twitter at this point.
Me too.
Part of hashtag
Even I
Discord.
am.
This Twitter makes me angry.
Yeah,
You know what's funny? That tweet you were like, I've never felt more positivity. I was like,
I saw that
wait
too, and I'm
for
like,
it. Wait for it.
you're in Diz Twitter.
Wait for it. You'll get hit with some shit.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet
Me honestly, me
with
too.
with Diz Twitter. It's not
Me
like
too.
saying anything about you or about
I
like
have
us.
some pretty
It's
hot
just-
takes, so I'm surprised that
It's not even the hot takes.
It's just the general like when you can.
Stupidity.
I got some stories. Well, I'll tell you later.
There is positives that come out of Diz Twitter.
I mean,
I met Brad through Diz
exactly.
Twitter. I met my
you.
girlfriend in Diz Twitter.
I met you.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, exactly.
positives, but it's sketchy.
We met Lolly from Diz Twitter. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of positive to it, but it's just
Yeah.
like, and Kevin.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of positive to it, but it's just like, you negative motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You got to wade through the shit to get to the gold.
You do.
We make a T-shirt that says that. Jedi Talk. You got to wade through the shit to get to the gold.
Please do.
Evan, where can they find you on Twitter?
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything is just my name, Evan T. Boucher.
You can find me on Twitter at Jedi Talk Podcast. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud. I know we're on SoundCloud.
And YouTube now.
And YouTube. Sorry. And anywhere you guys will do podcasts, just give us a review or whatever. It really helps the show out. I know it doesn't seem like it makes a difference, but I promise you with the way algorithms work, it does make a difference. So even if you give us a 1 star and you go, I hate that guy, he's an asshole, I understand.
and that's just
But
talking
it
about
still
me.
helps the
So
show. It still helps the show. Thank you guys so much for downloading this episode. We'll see you guys on the next show. May the force be with you.
always.
Say it. Say
Always.
it. Perfect. Awesome. Beautiful. We're done.